On this episode of Star Wars Time Show, the homies lay down their thoughts on the latest Kylo Ren comic and episodes of Star Wars Resistance. They then speculate on what may be going down in a new set video from The Mandalorian S2 before they get into the thick of this week's latest Star Wars rumors and fandom. They touch on Rian Johnson's future with the franchise thanks to his Knives Out success. And then they have some prequel fun talking about two rumored characters that will appear in the Kenobi series. Of course, they tackle the Colin Trevorrow Duel of the Fates script leak, and finally, you know they're ending with the top 5 Star Wars fan artist features of the week. Cue the music. Everybody, it is Matt and Nick, and we are back for a brand new, I know it's been a week, you guys were probably getting a little bored of listening to the same episode over and over and over again, but we appreciate the loyalty. Keep it going. Before we get into our topics, as you heard, there are plenty of them, and you know Nick and I will take them on tangents never before seen in this galaxy. But before we get there, we just want to kind of pound our chests a little bit. Something is happening already in 2020 that is amazing for the Star Wars Time bros. I'm talking records are falling. They're being shattered as we speak in terms of listenership, downloads of new episodes, followers on IG, people tagging us and hashtagging us on IG. And you know why, people? You know why that is happening? It is happening because Nick and I are fucking awesome. That's why it's happening. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's because you all are finally starting to realize that our mastery of the Star Wars galaxy is worth a couple hours of your time each week. No, in all seriousness, it's because of you guys and girls, whoever's listening, the people on IG, the Facebooks, wherever you found Star Wars Time. It's because of you. 2020 is starting off fantastically. And all we can ask is to keep this momentum going. There's always time for Star Wars Time. I'm already getting into the dance, and we're not even 3 minutes into the show. But it's clearly working, so I just wanted to, get that out there at the top of the show here and thank all of you. I'm sure I'll do it again once we get into the Top 5 Star Wars Instagram Artist of the Week feature, because that's where a lot of you come from, and we love you. All right, Nick? So anything you want to say to the fandom out there, the SWT bros and sisters?
We definitely did not expect this. We've been going strong on Star Wars Time for over a year now. 2019 was our inaugural kind of season of Star Wars Time. And now in 2020, we were like, okay, slow growth like we've been seeing over 2019. Maybe we'll get some numbers here, some numbers there. But like you mentioned, we opened up 2020 and we look at download numbers. We're like, where the fuck did all these people come from?
It was shocking to be quite honest with you. I mean, we're still tiny. Don't get us wrong here. We still need all your help. We are not big enough. Our penises are still diminutive in the Star Wars podcast landscape. But the way things are going in January, we could have some monsters here by the end of 2020. So Keep it up. We appreciate you. Whatever it is, the Force, I don't know. But like I said, I do think it's one part our awesomeness and 2 parts your excellence. All right, so let's get into it. What do we got to talk about, Nick? Well, we always find stuff to talk about because, as we say, there's always time for Star Wars Time. And it doesn't matter that there's no movies on the horizon. We will always find something to talk about Star Wars. But we actually got some legit shit. It's not just stuff we're pulling out of our asses this week, because my man here, he's still on Star Wars, The Rise of Kylo Ren, the bandwagon. All right? He's keeping at it. He read issue number 2, and now he's going to give us his take on it.
Issue number 2, I will say that for those of you who are really starving for content now, this is a really good source. Episode 1, issue 1 of Rise of Kylo Ren It kind of started off predictably. There was some stuff in there that you're like, yeah, I can see this happening and blah, 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 blah. But book 2 really fucking kicks it into gear.
And it confirms the rumor we talked about on the last episode, right?
Exactly. Like the big, huge rumor that had come out from MSW, that had come out with Project Luminous and all this other stuff. The High Republic era has officially been canonized by Star Wars The Rise of Kylo Ren issue number 2. And it comes from a conversation between Lor Santeca, that person from being slashed in half by Kylo Ren at the beginning of TFA.
I mean, again, I'm not reading these because I'm moronic, but aren't you finding... I like that they brought Lor San in there because it kind of adds a little more gravity to his scene with Kylo at the opening of TFA.
Exactly. Like, there is an established relationship between those two
He hung out
characters.
with him when he was a kid. He fucking slashed him down. Like, that shows you how dark Ben got.
Yeah, and I mean, what is established in that scene alone is that Lor Santeca and Luke Skywalker are very good friends. Like, Lor Santeca is essentially like, scouring the galaxy of, looking for Jedi artifacts, potential Jedi strongholds that were lost during the High Republic
that
era.
just feeds into the fact that Lor was the one that had Luke's essentially star map drive, right?
Yeah. So that makes complete sense. now.
Nick, I should almost read these damn comic books you've gotten into. It's like they add lore to the Star Wars universe. It's weird.
Just a little bit. I will say that they're 24 pages each, so it's
oh
a
my
bit of
god,
reading.
front and back. So that's like 48 things to look at.
It's tough. It's tough sometimes. You're like, man, I have to look at the pictures and read the words. But the words and the pictures in this book are really great. I mean, my overall score, I've been kind of reviewing them and giving them a score. The first one I gave a 9. This one I gave a 9.3. Story and entertainment-wise, it's excellent because the way at least the first 2 books have broken down so far is you kind of split the comic into 2 subsections. This one is Ben and Snoke, so kind of living in the timeline that is active and going on. So he's now with Snoke after leaving the Jedi Academy. And then the second storyline is a flashback in which Luke, Ben, and Lor Santeca are going out to this High Republic era Jedi temple to kind of just look for artifacts. And there's a lot of great stuff that happens in the flashback. We finally get the first confrontation between Luke and the Knights of Ren. And
that is the first fight. I mean, again, I don't read your reviews, not because I'm an asshole, and I'm not supporting my wingman here, but I do kind of want to read these at some point in time.
Yeah, I don't want you to spoil it, but you do.
Even though all the big moments already get spoiled, either because I'm at this point a Star Wars leaking junkie.
Yeah.
So I see the fucking panels. I know the other big moment from this comic. You essentially learn why they're called the Knights of Ren, right?
Yeah, so that was actually
you kind of meet the guy. I don't want to get too much into it, but like I said, I've already spoiled all that shit for myself. So.
Yeah, like the first one is where you get a little bit of history on the actual name, the Knights of Ren. This one is your confrontation, and then basically, I without saying too much or spoiling it for those who want to read it, like you find out that Luke is the baddest motherfucker in the galaxy at that point in time. Like he's untouchable. I mean, we know at this point now from Tross that all of the Knights of Ren, and even from book 1, all the Knights of Ren are force sensitive. Like they have little bits of the force in them. Even the main guy, he's got a lightsaber, and Luke basically just makes them all look foolish.
Good.
And yeah, so it was really cool. And then, pivoting a little bit to the Snoke storyline, it is a typical what you would expect from a dark side connoisseur. He's manipulating Ben.
I also see in this, Nick, in the flashbacks, they make it clear when Snoke is talking to Ben, right?
Yes, that's very clear.
Snoke's already in Ben's head as a child and Padawan and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Palpatine, I guess.
Yeah, Palpatine, Snoke, whatever you want to call it. As it's established in Tross, he basically says, "I'm every voice that's ever been in your head." So yeah, Snoke/Palpatine is there. And at this point in the flashback, you can tell that the relationship is established between Ben and Snoke. Like there is no introductory period. Ben is not trying to rid himself of this presence. Ben is very comfortable talking to Snoke through these forced communications.
Well, didn't we talked about this before? Isn't there another comic that kind of sets up how Snoke and Ben kind of first linked up?
I think there may have been
It's
like
in the Snoke comic, or I think there's another Kylo. There was a bunch of good ones that led up to Tross. Of course, our sloth asses didn't get to those, but I do, as you said, I believe before this run of books, Ben and Snoke and their relationship was already established.
Yes. So in this, we're seeing it. We're seeing like the relationship in this book in particular play out in person in the active timeline, and then through forced communication in the flashback timeline. So it was really good. It was a really good episode. Gave good context. Gave even better context into the Knights of Ren, who they are, and kind of what their sole purpose was in the galaxy at this point in time. So well worth a read. Like I said, I gave it a 9.3. The Marvel Comics app is how I read it. Super easy. If you use the guided view, you don't even have to worry about zooming in on certain cells of the comic. It does it all for you. And I think
you can essentially pretend you have the Force and you're reading the comic with the Force, right?
It's beautiful. It's very good.
I mean, dude, I'm all set. I mean, I'm on Comixology. I've got plenty of fucking Star Wars comics. Half of them I still haven't read because I'm an idiot. Like anything I see, shiny objects, I'm one of those people. It's like, I'll buy it. They have a comic sale for Star Wars. Oh, I'll buy all those, and then they just fucking sit there.
Nice.
So Steam sale, same sickness.
Oh yeah, Steam sale is the killer for me.
Hey, speaking of Steam, can you? Because I know, are you a PC gamer predominantly or console?
Yeah, I mean, I would say right now I'm playing mostly on PC. Yeah.
Can you explain to me? Because Entertainment Buddha, it's been kind of left out in the cold because of Star Wars time. That was my baby, and then we gave birth as husband and husband to Star Wars time, and now I've left my EB baby to essentially rot and die.
Left it to leave the nest. EB is now.
Yeah, but I'm so out of the gaming culture right now. Can you explain to me why everyone has a hard-on for the Epic Game Store?
It's like right now they've been doing a lot of free shit. Like they're like.
No, I'm talking like they hate it. Okay, so a game came out today, and it I think Zombie 4 is from Rebellion. It's only going to be on Epic Game Store for PC versions. And immediately the comments on the video, would have got if it weren't for the Epic shit store, Epic rip me off store. So that's what I'm getting. There's a movement out there in gaming against the Epic Game Store for some reason, and I really have never been able to put my finger on why.
I think it's partially due to the fact that they've disrupted the industry, and like it sounds weird, but for the longest time, like Steam was your only avenue, and it dominated the landscape so much that like people now use that as a method of communication with friends that they made online. And like the Epic Game Store is also taking away exclusivity business that wasn't there before. So like where
I'm guessing that's it. It's probably the exclusive shit. Like, I want to buy my PC game from this store. It's like, I don't get this shit.
Yeah, I mean,
what's wrong with people, motherfuckers?
PC gamers, it makes no sense because you can play it on your PC still. Like exclusivity issues make sense on console because it's like, well, I only have an Xbox.
Exactly. That's why I was like have we really gotten this insane as a society now? Especially, it seems like in the geeky stuff. I mean, Nick and I talk about all the time on this show about how fucking crazy Star Wars fans are, and gamers are right there too.
Yeah,
really like this type of shit we want to burn houses down over is. I don't like that store because they got an exclusive game, even though I could still fucking download it and run on my same shitty ass PC rig as a Steam game. It makes no fucking sense.
It's all about. People have looked at Steam as like a unified ecosystem for PC games for such a long time.
It's weird. It's like they would rather live in a land where monopolies are the only thing that reigns supreme and there is no such thing as competition.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, this happened, like, this was a long time ago, but, like, when EA Origin released, which was essentially their online store where all of EA's content was sold, and, like, when EA pulled all of their content off of Steam, people fucking lost it. Like, the biggest thing was Battlefield. Like, for a long time, you couldn't get Battlefield on Steam. It was EA exclusive, and there were people who were like, fuck it, I'm just not getting it because it's on EA. It's on Origin. And I don't know, like, where
I guess that one I can almost buy a bit more because of how egregious EA has been at times with their license and just the way they treat developers and ultimately gamers with end products, but to hate a fucking store just because it's a store?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's so weird.
Are these people that like hate the Fortnite movement and because Epic created that? Is that I don't know. It's weird. I mean,
Maybe.
Obviously this is one of the most random tangents we've had on SWT, but that's what happens. I told you at the top of the show, motherfuckers. You never know. We're talking about PC game trolls right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, Kylo Ren comic, good. Matt,
Yes.
dumb. All right.
Yes.
Note taken. Moving on to the next topic here. Star Wars Resistance. It's still going, my friends, but I believe we're down to 3 episodes, Nick. I did see that somewhere. They never took a break. They're just kind of plowing through with this final season, and we got a 2-parter this week in episodes 15 and 16. The New World and No Place Safe. All right, Nick isn't able to watch these anymore because we didn't want to tell this to people, but he's homeless. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, he essentially has to go to Starbucks to do the shows these
I'm
days.
sitting in the Starbucks bathroom with the door locked as we speak.
Essentially, he lives in a communistic style apartment complex that bans the Disney Channel or some shit. So, anyways,
I don't get it.
Nick is not able to watch new episodes of Resistance. I'm sure some of you are out there going like, well, he's lucky because that's a Disney cartoon that fucking sucks. But I warn you against that. Resistance is a good show. Nick and I were down on it a bit in this season, but I'll tell you what, these past few episodes, especially these last 2, man, they're really hammering it home. We're right back into the thick of, all right, it's Resistance versus First Order, in particular, Kaz's Resistance Cell versus, by default, Tam's First Order Battalion, Squadron, whatever you want to call it. So, in terms of Easter eggs, like I said, I already got called out. I missed a huge one in this episode, or the second episode, I believe. We saw some First Order TIE bombers, Nick, which I'd never seen before. I was even sitting there going, I should probably write this down. I've never seen this before, but I can't tie it to anything, so is it a true egg? And instead of using the internet machine, and I was just like a fucking lazy-ass scumbag, I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just make up my own truth, and it didn't exist. So I left that one out, but someone corrected me on YouTube in a very YouTube way. In a very YouTube reply, I pretty much told him to go fuck himself, and thanks for the comment. But so I missed this TIE bomber. We got some insights into Griff's Imperial past, Nick. We learned that Griff was actually in Doza's squadron, and that's why they're together, and Griff's loyal to Doza, so that was some nice backstory there. There's a rebel outpost on this planet we met of Eos, so it was structured very similar to the one you would have saw on the Masasi Temple or whatever on Yavin.
Yep.
Shit you not, these Aotians use the same horn from Castle Black that is used in Game of Thrones. It's dead on. Look it up. Not fucking around. The First Order launched orbital probes. It was a dead-on recreation from the opening of Empire Strikes Back, so that was a great nod. There are different types of Imperial probe droids, Nick. They didn't go to the planet. Rather, they just kind of smartly stayed in just outside the atmosphere to see if they could catch anyone coming and going. So
Interesting.
got those. Kaz decided he actually was leaving the platform. So the second part of this episode kind of got a little heavy, and it was very nice, very nicely acted by everyone, or voice acted. But Kaz was like, yo, I'm out of here, because essentially Doza lands on this planet. They fuck with the locals. Everyone makes peace. And then Doza's like, listen, we've been on the run. We just want to stay here. So they're going to stay on this planet. And Kaz is like, I feel like I got to fight for the Resistance. So he's leaving, and as he's leaving, he makes plans to go to Batuu. So interesting things here. Like, why do we watch this cartoon? Well, right here, the fact that Kaz is meeting the Resistance on Batuu, and another thing that Pyre says as my 6th egg, essentially hinting that Kylo Ren is now Supreme Leader. At this point in time, I believe Resistance has caught up to the TLJ timeline in terms of TLJ is completed.
I mean, and that is kind of the setting for Batuu when you go to Galaxy's
right?
Edge.
Right? So that's what I thought. And another commenter on YouTube, and by the way, people, those of you on YouTube, all new subs, hopefully you've listened to my my pitch at the end of every video and you're and trying out the show. And if you are a commenter, I love that shit. Trust me, I'll try to get back to you unless you're a moron. If you're a moron, I'll probably tell you're a moron, or I'll just ignore it because, as Nick said, leaving comments can only help us get at least 10 views instead of 8.
Exactly.
But yeah, so Kaz is heading to Batuu, and Pyre essentially, after he loses Doza yet again, and look at that, we just get a comment pop up on YouTube. Beautiful people. It's almost as if you heard me speaking through the goddamn Force.
Look at that.
Yeah! Imagine me shooting fucking Palpatine Sith lightning out of my hands right now. Ah! That's what I feel like. But anyways, back to Resistance and why it's heating up, and definitely, hopefully, Nick can pay somebody or do something to get to watch the final 3 episodes. But Pyre, Tierney's like, hey, you fucked up again. I bet Hux is really going to be pissed. And he's like, yeah, Hux isn't the person I'm worried about.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure TLJ events have taken place. That's all caught up. We're in this, I would say, the year in between, the period between TLJ and Tross, which is cool. I mean, that's why, we started watching the show in the first place, because of its ties to the sequel trilogy. And it did its own thing in a few episodes this season, but it's definitely funneling nicely towards, I think, a pretty great climax and resolution to this animated series.
Yeah, I mean, the last episodes that I was able to get my hands on was still kind of middling around in the side plot lines and not really focusing on the core narrative between the First Order and the Resistance yet. So once I get a contact or a source or something,
give someone a handy. You never know with Nick. You never know what he'll do to get him some Star Wars.
You got to do what you got to do sometimes. And
I'll suck Nick for some Resistance.
I just need to finish. I just need 5 more episodes. That's it. But so once I get my hands on it again, I think I'm going to be pretty pleased with the way that these last few episodes are going to be going. And I mean, like you mentioned, we're not only closing out this season, we're closing out this series, and like this is going to be it. So we only get 2 seasons of Star Wars Resistance, and we're heading right to that area where we want it to be. Like, lead us into Tross a little bit. Show us.
Yeah, we got impatient. I mean, that's what you do when you're an adult watching a kid's cartoon, though. I mean, sometimes you forget that. And I should be better, because every night I watch close to an hour of Sophia the fucking First on Netflix with the little one. To the point where I've got the theme song memorized. I've got most of the songs in the episodes down pat. But, I kind of get it. But even those shows, you can see that they're written for kids, but they're also teaching them about how not to be shitheads.
Yeah, and that
I mean, Resistance really isn't doing that in a way, but sometimes I guess I was taken a little too seriously.
Yeah, I remember one of the episodes in second season specifically was about sustainability efforts and essentially not drilling into a planet's core.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's things like that sprinkled in every now and then, but
it's there, like you said. Yeah. I mean, it's. I'm telling you, it's right where you and I envisioned it to be. Tam is still very key to all this, I believe, and obviously Kaz. But the second hour of this 2-parter was definitely probably felt the most Star Wars of any Resistance episode. It was very similar to the finale. I think we remember last year we were talking about how I was like, yeah, Kaz really finally felt like a true vintage Star Wars hero. And that's kind of how this one felt, because he was going off on his own. It was almost like he grew up. He had all the goodbyes to his buddies, and then Yeager, his de facto dad there. So at this point, I believe they only have 3 to go. I don't see how they could piss around anymore. I mean, it's got to be full on Tam's First Order faction, technically Pyre's, and then Kaz's Resistance. So
yeah, there's not a lot of time for messing around.
I implore everyone to get on it. At least check the first season on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
All right, dude. So moving on, the Mandalorian, our friend, the savior of Star Wars, Jesus H. Pascal, if you will. Right?
Oh yeah. This guy.
It sucks that he's gone. I mean, there's a glorious 8-week. It wasn't even an 8-week run, right? Because we had
No, it
a
wasn't,
we had a
'cause we had
2-weeker,
Yeah.
7-week run or whatever. But then he's gone. It's just like it's almost like you lose a family member. They just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, we have people like making StarWars.net's Jason Ward, who is clearly an even bigger junkie at this stuff than Nick and I. I mean, I think if Nick and I could do what he was doing, we'd definitely be doing it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the dude, there's no doubt the guy has some fucking legit access to shit. And it looks like now he lives close to the set of The Mandalorian, because, I mean, he was essentially doing a live stream, which we have up on StarWarsTime.net. We give him his credit. But he got some footage of the Mandalorian Season 2 set. In particular, it looks like they were dressing it with a lot of burnt trees. So that's kind of the angle he was riffing on. And, maybe Nick and I can kind of spew some of our guaranteed not to hit takes.
Yeah. I mean, the way that Jason Ward is breaking this down is that, the set itself has got burnt trees like Matt was talking about, and then he kind of leads into a theory of his that this is either going to be Navarro or Mustafar. For me, I mean, kind of thinking specifically about those two planets, Navarro or Mustafar. Navarro, for those of you who are not aware, is the home planet of the Bounty Hunters Guild, where we first meet Grief Karga, where we first meet the Mando and stuff like that. So it's the planet that a lot of the early happenings on the show were on. And then Mustafar, people know what Mustafar is, home of Vader's castle, home of the, where Anakin got all of his limbs chopped off, stuff like that. So for me, it would make a lot of sense if this was Navarro, given that Moff Gideon is still clearly there after the Mando downed his ship, and he would basically be on a warpath at this point. Like, the dude would be literally scorched earth. Like, he's fucking lighting everything
remember what
up.
he's holding too.
Yeah, a big ass Darksaber. So he's cutting down trees.
Hey, you want a cool Star Wars time factoid nugget on Navarro?
Do it.
If you search Bounty Hunter Guild planet, where we are in SERPs. We are in SERPs, motherfucker. That's right. We're number 3 under the goddamn Star Wars wiki. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, that is pretty good for those of you. So if you want to increase site traffic to StarWarsTime.net, just go on there. Actually, don't even go directly to StarWarsTime.net. It's better for us to get a referral from the Google search engine.
Yeah,
so
dude.
Go type in Bounty Hunter Guild Planet on Google and then click on the StarWarsTime.net
Pad those
links.
stats. Pad those stats. See, those of you, if you ever want to accuse us of shilling anything, trust me, it's not Disney Star Wars. It's motherfucking Star Wars time, okay?
Yes, that is the only thing that we shill. But I mean, Navarro makes. I mean, what do you think about?
I don't know, dude. I mean,
Mustafar
it would have to be a whole new side of the planet, because everything we've seen, it's fucking lava planet. I mean, it was confirmed in the last episode. It's a motherfucking lava planet. I mean, not on the level of Mustafar, but hell, even Mustafar can be kind of cheery and have plant life, as we saw in the opening of Tross. You don't know. I mean, that's kind of what one of Ward's guesses was. Could it be Mustafar, like the Kylo Force Mustafar?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, clearly it's a force-heavy planet. You would think Season 2 is going to involve Din hunting down. Well, not hunting down. I mean, I guess technically hunting down, since now he's back to being a bounty hunter. But whatever. It's fucking stupid. But he is charged now with finding Jedi.
Yep.
And that could lead him, if they're going to run with that the entire season, which I doubt they will based on the formula they used this season. You just don't know. I mean, John and Dave and everyone could flip it on us. You just don't know. That's why I love this shit. But Navarro, for me, the ground isn't gray enough unless they post-process a lot of that shit. And like I said, you saw no plant life at all. It was like a Tatooine to me, but with a obsidian sand feel versus traditional.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Do you think Anakin disliked obsidian sand too?
Probably. It's probably even more coarse than regular sand, so he would hate it.
I mean, he did
more.
set up shop on Mustafar just to hate himself even more. So
True. He may have just been like, you know what? If I really want to hate my life, I just go where there is the worst sand in the galaxy.
He was like, if you, I forget what it's in. If it was, I think it's in one of the comics, but he literally built his castle so he could overlook, I believe, where he got by Kenobi.
Yeah.
Just so it could piss him off more and more and more and more.
It's perfect, but
love that guy.
This planet it's hard to call, but also, I mean, like, there is a very distinct possibility that we're on a planet we've never seen before. I mean, like we mentioned, Navarro, until it was confirmed as Navarro in The Mandalorian, we'd never seen that planet before.
Right.
And then in terms of location jumping for Mustafar, it would kind of make sense, because you would figure if he's searching about the Jedi, okay.
Well, think about what's going on right now. In like from a Skywalker saga standpoint, our boy Luke is probably knee deep into his quest to find all these Sith and Jedi bunkers and artifacts.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, it's canonized in the video game. It's canonized in the motherfucking movies now because of Luke's diaries and the shit Rey found. I mean, hell, he went to Pisano with Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, not Lando Calrissian, the actor Billy D. Williams.
Literally.
Was there.
And they were looking for shit. They're looking for Uchi. They're looking for the motherfucking Sith dagger. So, yeah, Luke is very active in the galaxy at this point, pursuing Force-sensitive shit.
Yeah, and he would be on Mustafar, where his father's castle stronghold is.
Yeah, you would think he'd at least swing through there. I mean, you gotta wonder, would they bring in Luke, though? I mean...
Yeah, that is the interesting move.
Or are they going to invent new Jedi, which would be awesome? I mean, I'm all for inventing new Jedi. Just like they did with Kanan and Ezra.
Is like, if we had a Kyle Katarn-like character...
There you go. There you fucking go.
I mean,
that's
it's the
exactly
perfect opportunity.
That's a perfect Jedi archetype for the Mandalorian.
Yeah. I mean, he would be the guy. Like, if Luke had, if Luke was busy establishing the Jedi Order, if he had, business to do with Padawans and stuff like that, I mean, you would have a Kyle Katarn-like character from the old EU that's out there kind of doing these things for him.
That would be badass. What if it's literally just fucking... What if he's like, hey, man, I'm Kyle Katarn? Because fucking John and Dave would do that shit.
They would. They would just be like, why do we need to rename the... If we're basing this character off of Kyle Katarn, just make fucking Kyle Katarn canon again. That would be perfect.
The motherfucker's got a whole story Dave made up about Mandalore, canonized in live action. Yes, it was already canonized in animation, but it literally, Death Watch, Dark Sabers, really Mandalorian culture in general, all came from animated, and they've now got it in the live action. So why the fuck not? I mean, really, in the end, what's the cool aspect of this topic? Why are we talking about this video? It's so we can talk about the Mandalorian again. Exactly. It has nothing to do with fucking burnt trees on a lot in LA that could be any fucking planet in the galaxy. It's just, it gives Nick and I an excuse to talk about The Mandalorian Season 2 and riff on ideas that will never happen and make predictions that are so far beyond the mark that it's laughable that we call ourselves Star Wars experts.
I think that if Kyle Katarn was in here, that probably would have leaked already. Like, given the amount of information that we've gotten about every goddamn Star Wars property over the last couple of years, I feel like Kyle Katarn would be in there unless they Baby Yoda'd that thing, and like nobody will know about it until the day the fucking season 2 drops. But I think
we get Baby Yoda's real name right off the bat?
Ooh, yeah, that's
or until they find either another one of Yoda's species or a Jedi that knows something about this 50-year-old baby Yoda thing out there in the galaxy. I was going to say,
like, I feel like you have to come across another Force sensitive, because in my head, Baby Yoda can communicate through the Force. Like, he can have a conversation through the Force, but the people who are around him aren't receptive to that type of communication.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. That's what I said. I mean, are we going to get it? Do we pick up season 2 where Baby Yoda is starting to speak?
Yeah, I think if he would physically talk, that would be fucking great.
I bet it's coming.
Probably so. I mean,
think about it. At this point in time, dude, I'm sure they didn't have at least the executives probably were like, fuck, we'll give this show 2 seasons. We'll see what fucking happens. Whatever, John's a good guy. Dave, that kid, George loves him. Let's see what happens, right? And then season 1 happens, episode 1 happens, Baby Yoda happens, and it's like, fuck. Their dicks are just like, poing.
Yeah, Mandalorian
you would think at this point,
extended forever.
Unless they signed a contract and Favreau's like, fuck no, dude, we're blowing this thing up and you got to pay me triple. You got to think at this point, they're like, hey, let's Mandalorian fucking season 10.
Yeah, like keep it going.
Mandalorian indefinite.
Dude, we'll have like Baby Yoda will turn into toddler Yoda, and then we'll turn into fucking teenage emo
just keep
Yoda.
This thing going forever because we know these things. Obviously, he's 50 and he's still a baby. Literally, keep this going until humanity blows themselves the fuck up, and let's just watch what Baby Yoda becomes.
Yeah, the maturation of Baby Yoda. We need to see it because I want to see.
It'd be like the Truman Show, but for Baby Yoda. That's what I want.
Because what I really want to see is a piece of art that Frangle Art put out a couple of weeks ago that made the top 5, where I want to see fucking Baby Yoda whipping Mando armor. Like, that's what I want to see. I mean, that is some top-notch shit right there. But
I did a good Baby Yoda mashup today, I think, yesterday from MJ Hibble Art, I believe.
He's been on the top 5 before.
It is, it's Baby Yoda wearing Jon Snow's cloak, riding wolf.
Oh, I saw that one.
Saying, cometh winter is. Yes.
This is the type, I love that shit. This is the people, the Star Wars art community, they're just fucking
I threw one out today from a new artist I found, dude. I'll be surprised if it doesn't catch your eye, but this Cami.Lu, holy shit. I'll just leave it at that. I'll tease Nick. Give him a little tease for his duties next week to pick the top 5.
I've seen it. Yeah, I see it, and it's
basically like Disney perfection. Like if you're into Disney, that's Disney animation right there.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the I'm not going to say anything because this will likely make the top 5 next week. One of the figures looks like a fucking Disney princess. Like that's insane. So yes,
yeah,
that's next week tease.
Yeah. So anyways, man, Mandalorian sets. There's going to be some fucking burnt trees. Who knows? I bet the trees are burnt because of Din. Because that dude, I think he popped off his flamethrower at least once in every episode.
I was going to say, like, he used his flamethrower more than we've seen any other bounty hunter. Like, between Django and Boba, use it more than both of them combined. So,
I like the Boba fanboys out there still like, yeah, Boba's he's still the number 1 Mandalorian. He's still the best bounty hunter. I'm like,
I mean, dude, we still didn't get the payoff on who was hovering over, Fennec Shand at the end of that.
We'll see, but what Boba has on film so far, I can tell you, is not even close to what Din has put on film. And talking from football, breaking it down, it's not even close.
Yeah, Din.
Boba Fett. I'll give him the intelligence possibly for his maneuver to be able to tail Han after Han stuck himself to the back of that Star Destroyer. That's about it.
Yeah, if
fighting,
we're whipping
terrible.
Official canon here, like that's what we got to go on. Because I agree.
His only fighting, Nick. He flies over. misses a shot, lassos Luke cuts that, then fucking chops his gun in half.
Yep.
And then Han turns and accidentally bumps his rocket booster on, he's dead.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's a fucking bozo. Think about it. Boba Fett is a bozo.
Yeah. Now look, you get to see some kid Boba Fett in a Clone Wars series and stuff.
I hate
like
Star
that.
Wars time. Fucking shills.
They hate
I told
Boba
you.
Fett.
Disney. They like the Disney Mandalorian.
It's like, look, man.
Let's calm down.
Boba
Fett's gonna be back.
On what is canon now, and yes, I agree with Matt. Din Djarin is top-notch Mando over Boba right now.
I mean,
but it could come back. Maybe this whole series ends with fucking Boba Fett killing him in a duel, and then we get Boba Fett, a Star Wars series after.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's blasphemous. There's no way. Plus, Baby Yoda would not let that happen.
No, Baby Yoda.
But I'm all for
midair.
Boba joining the series. At one point in time, it's even on my theory video, I was all pissy. Like, it would take away from Din. But the more I think about it, like, that would actually increase his legend, I think, with fans if he could. And I'm not saying he's just always going to make Boba look like a fucking chump as he does in Jedi. But they have good tussles, maybe over bounties or just chases, and neither one or the other really gets a true victory, but they always manage to make it out alive and like, I'll get you next time type of shit.
Dude, like Boba Fett seems like the type of bounty hunter who is a Mandalorian, like a Mandalorian bounty hunter who would hunt another Mandalorian. Like Boba cares so little about the mark.
Right. Well,
that he would
Boba,
be like,
first off, he's not Mandalorian. And
well,
now we
Creed,
know he doesn't buy into the fucking Creed. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, like the Creed is, it's definitely, if he's a Credo Mandalorian, he's very loose. He is as Mandalorian as I am Catholic.
I would almost guarantee if like Paz or someone saw this motherfucker, they would blow him away without saying a word.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I bet Boba Fett is as hated, if probably more hated than the Empire is in this show.
That's probably true. I mean, considering that all of the Mandalorians were essentially like, a family now after the culling, after the, the destruction of the Mandalorian culture and people. And then fucking Boba's just out there whipping around in Slave One, like,
right,
doesn't
actively
care
working
about them.
with them. And
yeah, fuck that guy.
That's how I feel. I mean, I love Boba. He looks cool as shit, but he's just, outside of his armor, he was just always a bozo to me.
Yeah. I want more content of him, though, because I want him to come back, and I want stories told about him that prove the badass reputation that he has.
Right.
Like in new canon, because in old canon, there was a lot of good shit around his character and everything like that. Like, bring that character back in new canon, establish him as a badass again, and then really kind of let him permeate the new Star Wars canon a bit. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and if I'm pissing some of you off because of what I said about Boba, good. That's the point. That's the point of doing this shit.
Leave
right?
some comments and
please.
feedback on the show.
Tell me how fucking stupid I am. I've been hearing it for the past 10 years or so. All right, so moving on to one of the most treasured of Star Wars directors, and that is Rian Johnson, right?
Rian Johnson.
Right?
Yes.
Everyone loves Rian Johnson in Star Wars land, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's
okay.
Definitely George Lucas,
they fucking hate his
Ryan
guts.
Johnson.
Yeah, they fucking hate his guts. But anyways, the dude's doing all right for himself. First off, any of you people that want to tell me this guy fucking sucks and he's hacky, dude just wrote a movie from his head. It's made like $250 million on probably a minuscule budget.
Yep.
And he's got a nomination for Best Original Screenplay. And they've already greenlit a sequel on his new IP. So I don't care what you think about his take on Star Wars. The motherfucker's pretty okay at creating shit that people like. All right?
Yeah, he is a good filmmaker. I mean, I think you could say that before TLJ. I think you could say that after TLJ. And I think you could say that for sure after seeing Knives Out. So this story, I mean, obviously, since Knives Out is a huge success and has gotten, garnered all of the
we're not
accolades.
Knives Out time. There's actually a Star Wars connection to this.
Yeah. So, I mean, Matt rattled off all of these accomplishments that Knives Out has garnered. But now, I mean, obviously, when you direct something as large as Star Wars, I mean, over $1.3 billion worldwide for TLJ, people want to know, like, okay, you just had this successful movie that you wrote, directed from your head, like Matt said, completely original screenplay and idea. Like, so you're doing Knives Out 2. What about your Star Wars trilogy? Like, is that still happening? When can we expect it? Questions like this are coming up in all kinds of press junkets and interviews that he's doing. And in this piece from Variety, he semi answered the question. They asked him, so, is your Star Wars trilogy still in development? And he says, I'm still talking to Lucasfilm, but they haven't announced anything on their slate yet. Now, Matt, what do you think about that? Because we pretty much got a hard confirmation from Kathleen Kennedy herself and Bob Iger that this dude had a trilogy before TLJ even dropped.
Oh, of course. Honestly, at this point, I think he's telling the truth. I think Lucasfilm is so fucking chaotic right now in how to handle Star Wars anymore that they don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't. They really don't. If you think about what has happened at this point, they've taken the Skywalker saga and managed to make it lose money film to film to film. I mean, they started high with TFA, big drop on TLJ, big drop now to Tross. I mean, Tross hasn't even made $1 billion yet.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably have $1 billion by this coming weekend. So if you guys are listening to this when it drops,
that's crazy. I mean, Star Wars movies usually hit $1 billion typically within the first week, 2 weeks at most. And we're almost a month into Tross's release. They just, dude, they don't. I mean, Bob, Kathy, all these fuckers. I mean, they're all to blame. It's not just Kathleen. It's not just Bob. All these motherfuckers. At this point in time, I think whether you like the trilogy or not, I think everyone can agree that they dropped the ball overall.
Yeah,
they just did. There wasn't a cohesive vision to this trilogy. They've really managed to disenfranchise even the casual Star Wars fans. I mean, us nuts, we're always going to be crazy. But they've even managed to, like, fuck off just normal Star Wars fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like sane people.
And as you said, there were plans. We were supposed to have a fucking Star Wars movie this year and another one next year.
Yep. We were all set up for Star Wars through 2021.
Right. Those got arm wiped off the table after TLJ. I mean, this is when it all started to just fall apart. They're like, then knee jerking started to happen. This is where I start blaming the money guys, like the Bobs. They're just like, hey, fuck it, wipe all that shit. And then, as Nick said, trilogy announced, another trilogy announced. And then it's, we don't know what we're going to do. Oh, yeah, well, we're going to wait 3 years now. So 2022, it's going to be these guys, and then Avatar, these guys, and then Avatar, these guys. And there we go. And then, Johnson probably coming in after that. And now it's literally, those guys are gone. Ryan's still around, but at this point, he's going to be like a fucking trillionaire. He'd be like, I'll just keep making shit up in my own head and creating my own IP and become my own Rian Johnson, I mean, fuck, maybe Knives Out becomes like a little weird murder mystery Star Wars cult.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean,
so I don't think he's bullshitting here. I mean, there still could be things he's not allowed to say. I mean, they haven't announced anything on their slate yet. That you could also take that as maybe they actually do have a slate now, and he's not allowed to officially say anything until they officially announce the slate.
Yeah, I mean, so far the slate to, the people out here in regular Star Wars land is 2022, 2024, 2026. Like, that's the slate. And we don't know if they actually plan on doing
you put film and directed by in there, or just say NA and NA right now.
Yeah, nothing else is available at this point in time for those two categories. But, like, we have basically confirmation that there will be no Star Wars movies in between those dates. So nothing in 2025, nothing in 2023. So no movies there. So you would assume that if Ryan's coming in, Ryan's not coming in until 2027 at the earliest.
Dude,
so
at this point, if they're still legit with him, I feel, unless he's like, hey, fuck it, I got a good thing going, they almost have to drop kick him down the 22.
Yeah, I mean, if you're serious and you really want Ryan to continue some sort of Star Wars storytelling, like, give him that slot if he wants to do it. I mean, he's in development of Knives Out sequel right now. So, like, who knows if he has enough time to do full development and release, like full development, writing, and production on a Star Wars movie that releases before December 2022. I mean, like, I don't think he's got enough time, but
yeah, I mean, either either they're too pussy to just come out and cut the deal and be like, you know what, dude, we're weak. Look what we did with Tross. We caved on a lot of the controversial shit. You're almost like kryptonite at this point. Sorry.
Yeah.
We know you're a talent, but honestly, we can't risk giving a trilogy to you.
You know, what may be happening
And they're just too pussy to come out and say it.
That could definitely be it. But another thing that could be happening is that there's this idea we talked about last time. DC or MCU style films disconnected with an interconnected kind of overarching narrative. So not necessarily a strung together one movie relies on the other trilogy. They may be trying to pitch to Rian like, hey, we got 3, 2022, 2024, 2026. Do you want one? And then that way you have one, but you don't rely on the other 2. Like, this movie is solely yours and you can tell the story that you want to tell, and it doesn't have to rely on any of the other ones. And then you can do what you did with this trilogy. You can say, JJ, you make one, Colin, you make one, Rian, you make one. Tell your own stories. All we need to worry about is a very loose, overarching narrative, just like we saw with the MCU. So maybe they're trying to sell him on that.
The world is connected, but the characters at that time necessarily aren't. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they're all playing in the same sandbox, but they're not quite running into each other.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about like, well, fucking Rian killed my character. Now I can't make my script. Meh. Like, you can write your own story. You can literally take the character, write your own story, and you don't have to worry about any of the shit that happens in the other movies. Like, as long as you don't fucking kill your main, then you should be fine. So I think that may be interesting if they try to pitch him on like, hey, jump in on this model. Like, you objectively made a good movie with TLJ. Like, people have issues with the story, but objectively speaking, TLJ is a very well-made film. So there's no reason that he couldn't be involved in a disconnected project, MCU style like that.
Oh, I would not mind him keeping his trilogy. I really wouldn't. Again, this isn't Matt the Shill. TLJ did not bother me like it did some of you. It just didn't. I'm not going to say it's the best Star Wars movie, but it did not make me want to stab myself and renounce my membership in the Star Wars fan club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, whatever. I do think there is some truth to Disney just being pussies. Or it could be, hey, we've got something done and he's not allowed to talk about it because he signed this contract, and we'll tell him when he's allowed to fucking say something.
Yeah. I mean, NDAs exist in that sphere, that business for a reason. So I'm sure that if something has happened, he couldn't say it yet anyway because he's so far out from.
I'll leave it at this. I would not be surprised if one day, out of the blue, we get an announcement that Rian Johnson is no longer working with Lucasfilm, though, either.
Yeah, no. Either way would not be a surprise for sure.
All right, so moving on to a rumor here, so not real life. We're in the rumor land, which is a good land for Nick and I because I don't really know if life is real. So anyways, this kind of deals with the Kenobi series, Nick, and supposedly we're getting 2 prequel-era characters within it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a couple of rumors coming from a couple of different places. MSW, we got this covered, and what we're speculating on from the MSW side is everybody's favorite Gungan, Jar Jar Binks, making his way back into Star Wars.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's an interesting move. I don't think that they would do it in any sort of like main or even secondary character type of, position. But if they had a situation in an episode where Kenobi is somewhere off of Tatooine, and he runs into Jar Jar and has a conversation, I could see that happening. But if they try to bring like Jar Jar Binks into this series as like a secondary character to Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't know how you pull that off.
Well, that would be fucking vintage prequel nonsense, though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it would be. I mean,
it would line right up. But hey, man, I'm not a Jar Jar hater. I love the motherfucker. I mean, just to see my kid still laughs at his dumb ass, and she's seen the movie a couple times. I wouldn't mind it. First off, I would love for Ahmed to get hopefully a glorious return to the character and people not want to make him kill himself.
Yes, 100%.
I think that would be a bonus just for him. I mean, to come back to the role and actually be embraced. And I honestly think he would at this point because, you know, a lot of the people in the fandom menace are the prequel generation, right?
Yeah, they love the prequels.
Those are their motherfucking movies, and I bet they enjoyed Jar Jar Binks when they were little kids. I know when I talked to Jared, I mean, he's a prequel kid. And TPM's his favorite movie, and he fucking loves Jar Jar and all that shit. So,
yeah, I mean, if you were like 7-8 years old when TPM came out and you saw that, you probably attached yourself pretty hard to Jar Jar Binks. And like I can see people who were younger.
TPM's the best fucking prequel. Come at me, bros and girls. It's unquestioned the best prequel.
We're taking applications for debates right now. So
I don't even have to. I've got a long-winded, essentially video essay up on StarWarsTime.net or our YouTube.com/Star Wars Time show, I believe.
Star Wars Time show.
Yeah,
yes.
You can find it. I lay out my case for why it's better than Clone. Well, I mean, fuck. Anyone can figure that out, but I mainly lay out the case why it's better than ROTS.
Yeah, I mean, it's on there. It's actually that's one of our like earliest pieces of video footage was your opinion on TPM.
Really, like if you really just think about the Phantom Menace, just think about what it had to do and what it was dealing with, kids. A kid lead. It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean,
you get Darth Maul, you get Duel of the Fates, you get some of the best lightsaber combat in all of Star Wars. You get Qui-Gon Jinn, you get Ewan McGregor as young Obi-Wan. I mean,
you get a dope ass Yoda puppet if you go watch the special edition.
I mean, the pod race. It's a good movie, and
the pod race.
You can kind of excuse some of the cheesy acting because of the kids.
Yeah, I can agree on many of those points. It is a better movie than it is given credit for. And, you know, I tend to agree with you there. So
I know a lot of you guys like ROTS, but if you really think about what that movie does to my man Anakin/Vader, it's tragic.
That is your primary point.
I go to it every time because he was my fucking guy, Nick. Darth Vader was my guy.
Yep.
That's why I was so jazzed as a, you know, going into college age for the prequels. I thought the prequels were going to be life-changing. And they were, just in the wrong way. I mean, I did
a different direction.
I didn't expect it to be so flat. It was like, you know, more and more air came out of that prequel tire as the films came out, and then ROTS is just like someone just jammed a nail in there. It's like, oh.
The only one that I have a problem with is AOTC. And look, I can watch AOTC. I think it's okay. I mean,
it has some good sequences. Like that Coruscant chase is good until Anakin talk. Basically, as long as Anakin doesn't talk outside of the Lars Homestead, the best live action angry Anakin we get.
Yeah,
it would have been a lot better. Like Anakin talking in that movie's rough.
Yeah, it is. It is. Whew, I don't know. And the thing is like, Hayden did really good acting.
I think he had a Golden Globe nomination before that fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there. I don't know if like George was directing.
It's called George Lucas.
But AOTC is definitely rough. But I
love the guy's mind. I just don't think he knew how to direct humans, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is for sure. He's not a good director of actors.
And I'm pretty sure if you watch any of the behind the scenes on the prequels, Ewan, most of them pretty much hint at that without saying, hey, George can't direct shit.
He's like, yeah, man, he really just lets you do what you want to do.
Yeah, he's just like I just said hello. And he's like, all right, that's fine, cool.
Yeah, it's like, put it in there. All right, man. But the other.
But hey, the one thing, Jar Jar will have a beard, though.
Yes, bearded Jar Jar is said to be here. So I mean, And for those of you who haven't really kept up with Jar Jar's life post, Rots and post Rise of the Empire, he basically turns into a street clown. Like, he is a clown for children.
Yeah, isn't he almost homeless though? Like,
yeah.
Didn't the comic really made him destitute and really basically a bum?
Yeah, he is as
maybe he's a fucking bum in Tatooine, and that's where Kenobi runs into him at Mos Espa or Mos Eisley.
You know how fucked up that would be? Is like if he ran across Jar Jar and he was a drunk, like he was in, like you said, like he was in like the Mos Espa cantina.
I think that would be a way to do it. I'm telling you, man, I do not think Kenobi's leaving Tatooine in this series ever.
It's going to be interesting to see. Like, it would be risky if he did leave, but man, I would like to see if he did. Like, if he left,
oh, it'd be fun to just get Obi-Wan in a starship with him piloting again and bitching about it.
Yeah,
I love that. I always loved it. I mean, they even ran with that within the Clone Wars cartoon, though. I mean, Kenobi was always bitching about
flying. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be such an interesting way to reintroduce that character to a for sure more mature audience at this point, because like I wouldn't say that that The Mandalorian is a show that is tailored towards kids. Like, that is towards more mature Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
fans.
no, my 3.5-year-old watched the whole thing and enjoyed it. She's actually rewatched the entire series on her own request. I don't know if I told you that, Nick. I was over the break. It was after we watched the last episode. The next day, she got up at 6 or 7 with her mom. And the first thing was, can I watch all of The Mandalorians?
I mean, luckily for her, it's only 30-minute episodes, so it
took her exactly. It's that and ADD at that age. It did take her almost the day to get through all 8 again, but she fucking did it.
Wow, that's
by
impressive.
Herself at some times.
That's fucking crazy.
It's awesome.
She is a true Padawan at this point.
Dude, I mean, you should see the shit she does with that Cloud City Lego set. It's every day I come out and there's a whole new little setup she's got with the people. This last one was
incredible.
darling. I mean, I should send you the picture offline, but she on the landing pad lined up Leia at the door, gave her a crown from the Frozen set. Put Elsa and Anna next to her, like flanking her on the side, side to side. Laid out some Bespin guards as her escort, and then on the landing pad, literally like had a processional of people in like a U shape, walking towards her as if she was greeting them to Cloud City.
Wow.
It's like,
That's
dude,
fucking
this is
awesome.
so fucking great. Just doing it like I can hear her, she's talking. They're like, oh yeah, can we come in? It's the best.
That's
the best.
amazing.
But then like a night like tonight, I basically had to stay down in Daddy's room because of how insane she was making me with. I mean, just drama left and right. So parents, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, on to Star Wars. Let's get to the second character there, Nick.
The second
prequel
character is, this one's coming from We Got This Covered, and they've had a few good leaks recently as well. This one's a pretty pivotal character in the prequel trilogy, and it's played by one of the most famous actors that's ever been in Star Wars, and that's fucking Samuel L. Jackson's Mace Windu. Yes, this rumor coming out of We Got This Covered says that Mace is going to be back primarily in either flashback or Force vision form.
Yeah, well, yeah, it has to be. I mean,
yeah.
It's the only way this would work. This We Got This Covered site, they're kind of suspect to me, so I don't quite know if they've hit before. If they have, and I'm talking shit, too bad.
Yeah.
But hey, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. I guess. Did we get a lot of Kenobi and Mace exchanges, though? I mean, did you feel like they were good buddies?
They were on the council together at the end. I mean, they were both members of the Jedi Council.
Yeah, but why wouldn't he just talk to the guy, the big guy?
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I mean, we could definitely see a Yoda, in here as well.
Where how I could see Mace making sense, if the Hayden stuff pays off, and maybe we're getting flashbacks with them,
Yeah.
Or if they even just, reshoot to death or something, and Kenobi is still questioning, like, how did this happen? Like, no, I still don't even believe that Anakin could do this. Maybe Mace shows up like, no, motherfucker, he shot me out that goddamn window. Like something like that. Like, yeah, you dumb motherfucker.
I could totally see that happening. I mean, it's interesting because you're right. I mean, like, most of the communication between Obi-Wan and any other Jedi was between either Anakin or Yoda. So, but we know that Mace was a Grand Master. Like, this is a bad motherfucker. Like, he is one of the best Jedi in that era. So it's easy to believe that he would have had training sessions, that he would have had learnings from Mace, and that he would have spent a significant amount of time with him, especially once Obi-Wan became a master in Rots. You see him on the council. He's sitting right next to Mace. So I could see it happening. Also, Samuel L. Jackson's probably been the most vocal former Star Wars actor to be like, I want to be back in Star Wars again. Like, I want to play fucking Mace Windu again.
Yeah, he gets shit done. Like, when he speaks, stuff seems to happen, especially in Star Wars.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like, he even got George Lucas to say, like, sure, whatever, Mace Windu's not dead. Like, he was proud and George on it so much. Like, when Disney bought Star Wars, he's like, I can come back. Look, George Lucas said I was alive still. Like,
yeah, I mean, you still gotta love the fact that Sammy J went to the maker. He was like, listen, motherfucker, I want a purple lightsaber.
Yeah,
well, they don't exist in this universe, Sam. Motherfucker, I want a purple lightsaber. Yes, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, it's like, all right, give the man a purple lightsaber.
I mean, George just caved like that. But you'd always hear stories, that, especially with LucasArts, where he wasn't a tyrant. Like, he would never yell, but he could just kind of come in and ruin your month.
Yeah.
Just by going like, oh, yeah, that's, you know what? Let's call him Snoochie Boochie. Give him a horn here, and make him related to Jar Jar. And they'd be like, oh, fuck. They'd have to, like, delete entire levels and stories. And
yeah. George was...
But then Jackson's just like, listen, dude, I want a fucking purple lightsaber. They don't exist. Yeah, you've made it clear. It's green, blue, red. I want a purple. It's like, sure.
Anything for you, Mr. Jackson. But... I mean, but like at the time though, if you look at the people who were cast, like Samuel L. Jackson was the biggest star ever cast in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it was big. It was probably almost like, why is he doing? Dude, I'll never forget. I don't know if I was just stupid when I was 18, 19 or what. But when TPM fired up and I saw that Liam Neeson was in it, I was like, holy shit. Like, Liam Neeson's a fucking Jedi? I mean, obviously the internet wasn't what it was back in 98, or it would have been, 97, 98, leading up to 99.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you couldn't get anything, really, and hardly even fucking trailers. Think how crazy that is, dude.
Yeah, like, when you walk into a movie and you're like, holy shit, this person's in it. At this point, we know everybody who's in a movie a year
21 years ago, I used to buy movie tickets at the booth, walk in to watch a Star Wars prequel trailer,
and then leave.
Yeah,
it's like, that's pay my $5, get to see the trailer on the big screen, and that's it. Now fucking trailers come out.
I'll never forget when I found the version of it online. I was at Kent State my freshman year. Again, this would have been 90, 98, 99. The winter of 99, so going up to its release.
Yeah.
I found the trailer, where it's like every generation, the Gungans are coming out of the fog. I was like, this is the greatest thing. This is life. Back then, I can remember every year just going, please let me live so I can see the prequel trilogy.
Yep. I mean, it's that's what Star Wars is.
If you would listen to some of my shows, you'd be like, wow.
It's like, man, I'm surprised that motherfucker's still alive.
Yeah, like this guy is gonna have a fucking stroke over the prequels.
For those of you who don't know, I mean, this is our 92nd episode of Star Wars Time that we're recording.
Yeah, just Star Wars Time and shit. We probably had another 90 as two assholes in a cup.
Yeah, like we recorded a ton of content over on the Entertainment Buddha podcast network. So if you want to go see vintage angry at the prequels, Matt, like
Oh,
you got to
fucking
dig.
drunk and stupid. I mean, we would do it Friday nights. I would be 3 sheets to the wind doing this shit.
Yeah,
Nick would
and
set me off. He would say like, sand, and I'd be like, fuck. I mean, I was just as bad as Anakin, basically.
that's all it took. That's all it took. I mean, just the most innocent mention of any prequel character, and then Matt was.
I don't know,
he
but
was
I'm liking it tonight. I'm almost enjoying reminiscing about the prequels right now. I'm not gonna
I mean,
lie.
there are a lot of.
It was such an exciting time for a Star Wars fan that, I was born in '80, so I got to see Jedi in theaters. But come on, I was fucking 3. I really didn't. I wasn't quite I was a fan, but not what you could be when you actually have a brain. Okay?
Oh yeah, I mean,
So I was in high school. I mean, I remember when they announced it. I get the Star Wars Insider magazine. Again, no internet, motherfuckers. So that's all we do. I was so jazzed, like, yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna see how Anakin becomes Vader. I can't fucking wait. That's all I could think about back then. And then TPM was like, all right, fuck yeah. I saw it 10 times in theaters. 10 times.
that's
Attack of the Clones, saw it before it even released. Somehow my dad knew a dude that ran a major theater chain. Literally walked into a massive theater and there was 4 of us watched Attack of the Clones. And I was getting watches like, oh yeah, it's prequels. Yeah, it's Anakin. Okay, oh yeah, but it's the prequels. Okay, all right. There's one more. There's one more, right?
One.
I'm like, there's one more. We got this, Anakin. We'll see how he becomes Vader. We got this. And then Rots comes out, and I'm going through, and I'm like, all right, good opening. Okay. All right, that Ray Shield line. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Oh, really? Oh, what? And then even that came out. I was like, okay, well, that's how it happened, I guess. That's how Anakin became Darth Vader. All right. And then it just slowly just started to eat at me, and the hate started to creep in, and then George essentially sat on Star Wars, and he's giving us the cartoons. Those are great, but that even took a few years. Just Anakin's turn and the unearned turn just ate at me and rotted my inner fandom away to the point where I didn't even watch Star Wars movies again until Disney bought the license. True story. I won't go any further. Here we go.
So, for those of you who want the prequel characters in there, we may be getting both Mace and Jar Jar Binks back in there. So it's going to be interesting. I think Kenobi series has a lot of potential.
How do you classify Kenobi? I mean, technically, if we don't want to get in a time loop, he is a prequel character, right?
Oh, yeah. He's a prequel character.
Even though he's introduced in the Age of Rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely
deep shit, man. Chicken and the egg.
It's very interesting.
All right, so moving on to interesting shit, or who knows, probably just some guy trying to get some play on YouTube.
YouTube channel. Yeah.
But we got this thing from Reddit today, and I did a video on it. I basically read it to you like Uncle Matt. Check it out. I was like, fuck it. I feel like I have to get video content out at least once or twice a week. But this guy, Robert Meyer Burnett, who I searched him, he does do something in Hollywood. He's not just some straight bozo like me on YouTube. But apparently he got an early draft of Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly's Star Wars Episode 9 script, which at that point was titled Duel of the Fates, which I kind of like. Apparently it was dated 12/16/16, so a week before Carrie Fisher passed, which adds a lot of context to the summary here. So, he goes on, Nick, to summarize everything, the crawl, and then we just get some bullet points. So I figure you and I will kind of do what we usually do, and we'll tap around through some of these things, make some comments here. Just general here, it is a vastly different movie than what The Rise of Skywalker is. I mean, there isn't a real remote similarity at all.
Yeah.
He actually, if this is real, seems to have maintained much of what Rian set forth. especially with the character of Rey. She definitely remains no one, which I'm not going to lie. I mean, I voiced my opinion on the spoiler cast, this, that, and the other thing. I would have preferred that, especially the way it's written here. I mean, at least the way I was reading these bullet points with Rey in particular, Nick, I was like, I kind of like that, where she is still kind of doubting herself, but her friends and Leia and Luke are pushing her like, listen, so what? You're not a fucking Skywalker. You're not a fucking Solo. You're not a fucking Palpatine. But the Force has picked you for some reason to do something special.
Yeah, exactly.
So fucking get over yourself, suck it up, sister, and let's go.
Yeah, I like that. I like, the way that Rey was portrayed here. She also has, a reconstructed lightsaber that's basically half her staff. It's a dual-bladed lightsaber like Maul, and it's half her staff and then half pieces of Luke's saber that was destroyed in TLJ. So it's interesting. The take on Rey is good. I like it. The
Rose fans would have liked this one too, because it
'cause
seems like she was right back prominent, no different than what we saw in Trosh. She would have been in that gang.
Yeah, she would have been running.
Essentially, the movie
Finn.
opens with her and BB-8, and who else is in there? Rey's in there, Poe, Finn. They fucking steal a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, and it like there is some good old EU fan kind of service here. Kuwait Shipyards is where they open the movie. If for those of you who know what Kuwait Shipyards is, that's been in a lot of old canon content, new canon content. It's where they build these fucking massive destroyers, and
right?
ships
And they're there to
like
essentially blow it up, but that gets fucked. So instead, they jack a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, and most of note in this is that there is no outside force that comes into the galaxy to subvert Kylo in the First Order as the prominent, dark side presence.
I mean, I guess I should have read the crawl would have set some of the tone here, so I'll go ahead and read it real quick. Let me read the crawl, Nick. I can speak English. The iron grip of the First Order has spread to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. Only a few scattered planets remain unoccupied. Traitorous acts are punishable by death. Determined to suffocate a growing unrest, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has silenced all communication between neighboring systems. Led by General Leia Organa, the Resistance has planned a secret mission to prevent their annihilation and forge a path to freedom.
Yeah, I mean, again, as many of you have said, that Tross is, basically just another fucking, Return of the Jedi. Like, this would have been another Return of the Jedi too. Just a heads up, like, this would have been very similar to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's, I mean, a lot of different plot points. So I like the deal Rey shows up at Kuwait as a Tusken Raider. I'm not sure that makes sense, but
yeah, I don't know why.
I don't think Tusken Raiders did a lot of space travel.
Yeah, they did not. They didn't leave.
So that's where you start to, you're like, oh, okay.
And look, I don't know whether this is legit or not.
Of course, but it's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
We can pretend. I mean, going on here, it seems like the Knights of Ren were going to be a little more involved.
Yeah.
They show up at Kuwait after the Star Destroyer is jacked, and one of them kills a First Order admiral, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We get to see Coruscant again, and it's vastly changed. It's no longer vibrant. The First Order's essentially built their shit on top of all that old Art Deco shit. Hux is a chancellor. They have a palace there.
Yep.
They're meeting with alien warlords, so they sort of do have allies, but they're all evil motherfuckers.
It's not. It's similar to what you would have seen in the CIS, like in Attack
exactly,
of the Clones.
like aliens.
Yeah, not what you would see in like A New Hope or anything like that. Like Imperials hated aliens. Like it seems, at least under the Chancellor hood of Hux, they've kind of embraced their alien allies. So
yeah,
it gets a little squirrely based off this is where it starts to get squirrely, is where we start to get to Luke's parts, and Luke is a Force ghost. And initially, when everything came out about Colin's departure and why he wanted to leave the production and the issues that he had, is because it was reported that he had both Luke and Leia alive in his version of the script. In this one, Luke is dead. So I don't know if like his initial, because this is a draft. This doesn't say it was an initial draft.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, at this point,
draft.
we're in one big fucking gray cloud of he said, she said. Who the fuck knows? Some dude could have literally just shit this on paper and said it came from Colin.
Like seriously, like this could be nothing. Like this could literally be. It
could be fan fiction. It could be some asshole on Reddit throwing shit up there and see if it sticks.
Yeah, and like, so the big thing was like, okay, so Luke was alive, Leia was alive. That was established in actual reports. What we have here is Luke, Force Ghost Luke. So I don't know if like maybe Colin got a version of TLJ
this could have been,
script.
hey, Kathy coming in. Hey, Colin, motherfucker, guess what? He's staying dead, so fucking fix it.
Yeah, it's like, here's the script. If you want to use this to base a new fucking,
rewrite, motherfucker.
A new rewrite off of, here you go.
Yeah, so Ren's essentially out searching for some sort of power, which is similar to what we get in Tross.
Yes.
And Luke's kind of taunting him, which I would have liked to have seen. And, they're kind of shit-talking each other.
Yeah,
with Luke's end goal trying to get him to go back to Leia. Of course, Kylo still has the hard-on for power. And
it was kind of similar to, like, the very first time you see, like, in the very beginning of Tross, when he comes down and Palpatine is talking to him, and he's throwing back these one-liners.
Exactly.
Like, he's like, I'll fucking kill you.
He's very jazzed up, and he's feeling good about himself, clearly.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing with Luke in this thing here.
So he ends up in Vader's temple, gets a Sith holocron, and there we get a hologram of Palpatine, but it's a recording for Vader. Apparently, this was a contingency for Vader if Luke killed Palp. Vader was supposed to take Luke to the Remnicor system to see Tor Valum, the master of the Sith / Palpatine's teacher. That's clearly odd, but who knows? If Tor Valum is the master of the Sith, he could have possibly been teaching Palpatine after fucking Plagueis.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it sounds like this would have been a pretty fucking badass motherfucking Sith, like the Sith master of all Sith masters, essentially what Palpatine wants to become in Tross.
Yeah, exactly. Like
he's 7,000 years old, and this, that, and the other thing.
Tor Valum, 7,000 years old, some sort of weird alien type of
sinewy,
creature.
muscly looking, freaky thing, but clearly a pimp at the dark side. So, anyways, this holocron blows up in Kylo's face, and here we go. We're now meeting Leia for the first time on the Resistance base on Core Aleph. Leia's kind of sensing what's going on with Ben. The Star Destroyer shows up and kind of shocks the Resistance, like, fucking A. And this is, like I said, Rey's kind of talking to Finn, and she's very unsure of herself.
Yeah,
she doesn't have what it takes to be a Jedi because she's not someone special. And Finn's pressing her on her bond with Kylo, and he's pretty much like, you got to get rid of him. He can't change. He's an asshole. And she's like, it's never too late, dude. You taught me that, brother, right? Stormtroopers, and now you're not. So it sounds like essentially, they're going to get the Star Destroyer. They're going to plan to use it against the First Order. But here's Rey back to researching the Jedi text. So again, a similarity to the Tross we got. But she figures out that under the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, there is a Force beacon communication system that can break the First Order comm blackout, essentially.
I mean, that's... it's similar to what Obi-Wan set up at the end of Rots, right? Because, like...
Yeah, kind of. It just sounded like because this was Old Republic tech, it could get out and send a signal to a limited number of planets, and this was their only hope to try to get some help.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the plan, is essentially the Resistance is going to fucking raid Coruscant, like do a direct attack on the First Order's, seeming like their base, their palace, to get this beacon out. But here now Force Ghost comes in, and he's training Rey still, and he's pushing her to get stronger and stronger, while he's also working on Kylo to get Ben back. Kylo makes it to Coruscant. His face is all fucked up. This is weird.
Yeah.
They smelt Mandalorian armor and essentially grafted onto his face
That is
because of the
again,
damage the holocron did. So almost like a half
a half
Vader
mask. Yeah, half Vader mask. I mean, if like this is where it kind of gets squirrely in that range, but I mean that would have been interesting to see, like, him basically building another mask. Yeah, could be interesting.
And then we get more Luke and Rey stuff, essentially just setting up that Rey is trying everything she can to back away from becoming a Jedi. Hux and Kylo have their moments, but Kylo's like, whatever, you just take out the Resistance, the girl's mine. All right, and this is where we get the teams like Star Wars does towards the the middle act into the climax, right, Nick? We get Team A, so that's Rose, Finn, R2, and 3PO. That makes sense. Finn and Rose. They go to Coruscant. Their job is to hit that beacon.
Yep.
Team B, I like this one.
This is
Rey, Poe, and Chewie. Their planet. Their job is to go to a planet and find someone to help Rey figure out something.
Yeah, that is that is great. Help Rey figure out something. Yeah,
she needs to do. And we never get that thing, by the way. But anyways,
don't worry.
I guess we sort of do. So Kylo ends up going to this Remnicor system, but before he does that, he has a big moment with his Vader helmet, essentially calling out Vader, like, you allowed love to cloud your judgment, you fucking pussy. So that pretty much implies at this point Kylo has achieved even become a greater scumbag and shithead than Darth Vader.
Yeah, exactly. So
he knows that he's figured out Vader's weakness, why he caved and saved Luke. So he's on his way to become Super Sith. Leia's hanging out with the Resistance still. Rey and Leia talk. This again just confirms, like, hey, even though you're not a Skywalker, it doesn't matter. The Force picked you. You're damn special.
Yeah, yeah.
First Order, they show up at the Resistance base because of the Star Destroyer.
The Resistance escapes. Team A successfully infiltrates the Jedi Temple and turns on the beacon.
Right.
And then, so, like, this is where apparently there was a Bosk cameo.
Yeah, the signal's hitting places and people are receiving it, but then it's cut off early, so Team A has to go hide again. TB, they end up getting pursued by the Knights of Ren, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kylo makes it to this Remnicor system and confronts this Tor Valum guy, and he actually begins training with him. Apparently, there's like an ESB cave scene where Kylo fights Vader, but Kylo loses. Here we go. So here's the something Rey had to figure out. See, you like how she's with Poe? I told you there.
Yeah.
Fuck. So Poe takes Rey to a seer who can pull information out of memories, and she gets a star chart out of him, which I'm assuming is for, wait for it, Mortis, because Ben and Rey and Kylo end up there, but not before Rey kills the Knights of Ren by herself. Leia hits up Lando to organize the smugglers to come fight. Okay. Rose is captured, tortured, escapes. Finn, R2, and the droids start an uprising on Coruscant, so similar to what the Ewoks were doing on Endor.
Yeah.
And then Leia shows up on Coruscant to battle, and this is where you get the Return of the Jedi comparison, where you have a massive space battle going, matched with a ground battle. You got Chewie in an X-Wing. While this is going on, Rey and Kylo are fighting on Mortis, essentially the Sith planet?
Mortis was...
No, it's like the Force planet.
That was the Force planet. That was where Anakin found the father, the daughter, and
They're essentially going with in this
father.
one that the Force was more or less calling to Rey from its home.
Yeah.
Right? And she had that star chart embedded into her memory of Mortis to get there. Whatever. Interesting.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, who cares? It's neither here nor there at this point. So anyways, they're starting to fight each other. It's revealed that Kylo killed Rey's parents because Snoke told him to. Again, you got to remember Palpatine's still dead. towards the end, we get Luke, Obi, and Yoda. They show up as Force ghosts, but they're not there to help Rey. They're there to try and save Ben, but Ben is ultimately extinguished. So, and that's just kind of where it ends. Like, the draft just ends, but they do say that in the end, yes, the Resistance won, the First Order lost. So,
and then Han appears to Kylo at some point.
Yeah, again. So it's like, all right.
I mean, like, I will say this whole Coruscant thing, ground air battle court, that is taken directly from the X-Wing series of books from the old EU. That's literally the exact plot line of that book. Like,
so it's like I said, I mean, who knows? This could be pure fan fiction. It could be a guy trying to get clicks. It could be us trying to get clicks. You never know anymore, right?
And I mean,
but who cares? It was fun. We could sit there and pretend.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. I mean, like, if this is legit, it would have definitely been a completely different style of movie. Keeping your main bad guy as Kylo. There is no Ben Demption. You don't have any sort of explanation for Rey's background other than, that she is just a powerful Force
It would
user.
have been another different type of Star Wars movie. I mean, it would not have followed the mold.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that there's cool things in here. I think that there's some shit in here that makes literally no sense. I mean, for all of the people who are on this thread on Star Wars, it's like, oh, man, this sounds way better than Tross. Like, this is literally 15 bullet points that have no interconnected narrative at all. And
no, not at all. I mean, like literally, they just ignore this Tor Valum dude. Yeah. Sith Master, he just, who cares? He just wanted to train Kylo for a little bit so he could go fight Rey on Mortis. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's like, what is happening there with this Tor Valum? Like, who is Tor Valum? How is he Palpatine's teacher? And what happened to fucking Plagueis? Okay, but I mean, like, there's definitely, and yes, granted, this is this could have been quote unquote.
Maybe this is why Trevorrow got fucking fired.
Yeah, they read this and they were like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Kathy's like, "Hey, dude, you deal with this Valum guy, then you just disappear, and they're on Mortis. Like, what's up?"
Yeah,
like, I feel like where's 30 minutes of movie there?
Like, I think this is what happened because we know that the reason that Colin left this movie was because the characters that he wanted to use weren't there anymore after TLJ. Snoke is still in this motherfucker, people. Snoke got cut in half in TLJ. So, I mean, Snoke is still mentioned in here, right? Yeah, Snoke is still mentioned in here.
Yeah, I didn't say he's alive.
He didn't say he was alive, but he's mentioned in this script. But, like, this feels like, if this is legit, this feels like something that Colin put together after he saw the final version of the TLJ script because he had to start.
Yeah.
Like, he had to start, like, okay, like, well, Luke's dead, so I got to do everything that I want to do with Luke fucking dead style. I got to work in Rose. Rose's character has to be in here because, remember, if these three directors were writing their movies independently, there's a 0% chance that he writes the character of Rose Tico in if she's not already, like, if she's not included in TLJ. So this is a version of the script that he wrote after he read the finalized TLJ script. That's why you have Luke as a ghost. That's why you have Rose in here at all. And that's why you have what is, like you said, what is essentially the closest continuation from the TLJ script as we have seen thus far. I will say, and this is something that you pointed out prior to us going live, Matt, is that there was a supposed leak of a Colin Trevorrow episode 9 prior from MSW, from like the most legit source you can get in Star Wars leaks, and Colin himself came out and said none of that's true. Like, he commented on MSW.
He even says, like, I usually just ignore all this white noise from you Star Wars assholes on Twitter, but he said, I felt like I had to address this.
Yeah, he's like,
this is like some straight up fan fiction. So
yeah, this is not real, even in the slightest. And like Matt said, like, if you search Robert Meyer Burnett on IMDb, yes, he has IMDb credits, but this dude is like, he is like B movie of B movie type of shit. Like, this dude is not what I would call a a very
Hey,
good.
we're in a period of no Star Wars movie certainty, so we gotta latch on to whatever bullshit we can get these days, buddy.
Yeah, I know, and this was it. So
Hey,
it's
it gave
very
us a
interesting.
segment, right?
Yeah, so yeah, it's very interesting for those of you who want to read through these points.
Right. I
It
mean,
will be
in
linked
the end,
in
it
our
means
cast
nothing.
post.
It's not like
Yeah,
it's gonna change anything. It's not gonna get a re-release or the JJ cut. You notice the JJ cut movement's died out. I mean, none of this shit's happening. So,
yeah. I
the
mean, I
Rise
think
of Skywalker you got on December 20th is the Rise of Skywalker.
yeah. And look, if you hate it, I'm sorry. I mean, it's a tough place to be in when something that you care about this much,
Yeah.
Star Wars in this case, feels like it's let you down. I mean, Matt dealt with it for a long time. I mean, I luckily have been in a position to where I've never really felt all that let down by Star Wars. Like, you know, was I the hugest fan of TLJ? No, but I wasn't like fucking ripping my Star Wars tattoos off of my arms and, denouncing my fandom. I've just
That'd
never
be fucking
been in that
hardcore.
situation.
If you ever do that, make sure to record it so you can put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I think if you
You start fucking like cutting your own flesh off because you hate Star Wars so much.
It's like fucking Kenobi's not good. I'm
Yeah.
cutting them off.
They
I'm
put
cutting
Jar
them
Jar
off.
and Kenobi. God damn it, I'm cutting off my fucking titties.
That's right.
Nick's out there with a file on his nipples.
But
All right,
I
man.
mean,
So
yeah,
let's get into the one that they're all here for, right?
this is it. This is
We
the
know why
the
most
show.
of you are here, and that's fine. We still love you. Not
Yeah.
really. No, I'm just kidding. We love all of you Star Wars time fans out there, and that's why we do the top 5 Star Wars artists of the week, which, again, if you want to get involved in this fun little segment, all you have to do is tag us when you share Star Wars related art or toy photography on Instagram. So hashtag Star Wars Time Show or just tag Star Wars Time Show. I prefer the hashtag because it makes us look cooler. More people can directly see who you're tagging in your shares. And then they're going to be like, oh, Star Wars Time Show? Tag? Woo, feature? Oh, talked about on the podcast? I want to do that too. You guys get it? All right, so tag this motherfucker, Star Wars Time Show.
And here
Say
we
would
go.
pop. I'm the one that picks them all up to throw up on our Instagram at Star Wars Time Show. And then this guy here, Nick, he's the one that does the top 5 choices, which he's going to introduce right now for the week of January 6th through the 13th.
Yes, 1/6 through 113. Like Matt called out in the beginning of the show, like the interactions on Instagram, the new followers on Instagram, they're flying through the roof. I mean, we're over 3,000 followers on our IG.
Yeah, I mean, you motherfuckers
yeah,
are starting to make a case for me to get up around like 6:30 or 7. Because I used to have a routine. I'd be up around, 7:15, 7:30. I'm a professor. I don't give a fuck. It's the good life. I would go through. I'd check out all the fresh tags, all the fresh hashtags, or I'd just scroll through my feeds. And if I saw a Star Wars picture, I would mark it to be shared. Yeah, I could usually be done with that in 25, 30 minutes if I was taking too much time. These days, I'm lucky to clear it within an hour, man. I mean, it's just, I don't know what has happened in 2020. I don't know if you all just finally woke up and you're like, you know what, these assholes they kind of know what they're talking about. They've got passion about it, and they're not that fucking stupid. So I'm going to listen to them a little bit more and interact a little bit more. But
Yeah.
the hashtags have gone up. The straight tags have gone up. The followers are going up at an even more rapid pace. We're over 3K now on Star Wars Time Show on IG. So yay. Thank you, IG Algo, for not completely killing our growth yet.
Yeah,
we should celebrate IG too for not fucking us over.
yes, thank you, Instagram.
But, I mean,
Instagram
honestly, it
gods
just
are shining.
Something's happening. Something is happening. I can feel it in the air tonight. But the point is, we need the shit to keep happening, all right? Don't
Yes.
depress us in February. If you assholes get Nick sad in February because all this upgrowth and more views and more downloads of the show, if it all dries up in February, I don't know what Nick's going to do, okay?
Yeah.
So keep the shit going.
This is what's clinging me to my sanity right now, is like seeing this growth.
He's
seeing
not
these
fucking
numbers. Like, I have a very stressful job.
He's got a stressful job. He's supposed to be moving into a house that's not going to be ever ready. So
Yeah.
the guy is on the precipice.
Yeah, it's right there. The cliff's edge is within sight, but it's
I'm
images
not.
like
I'm already
these.
nuts. This guy isn't there yet. We don't need two nut jobs on this show. Okay.
Two Sith. The Jedi need to balance the Sith.
So
As the Force has balance, the Star Wars Time show has balance.
Keep the liking, keep it going, the commenting, the sharing, the rating, the reviewing. You guys know the dance. There's always time for Star Wars Time. I just, before you get into this, Nick, I need to make a personal statement about my own adventures on Instagram, sharing predominantly Star Wars toy photography. Something is happening with Haywood Pop too.
Okay.
I don't know if it's shared magic through Star Wars Time show or the fact that I'm now kind of being an asshole and tagging up to 20 people on new shots I share to force them to come look and hopefully jumpstart the IG organic algo juice. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You understand the plan, right?
I get it. It was actually
And people
when
do
I
it to
saw
me
you
all the
doing
time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start trying this shit. And I think it fucking works.
Yeah, like when I saw you doing it the first time, I was like, okay, that's a good idea. Like he's got it. Like he's in the rhythm now. Like he's figuring out how to beat the machine.
I'm still getting fucked. I'm not. Very rarely do I toot my own horn, people. I actually am disgusted by most of my shots. That's being a little dramatic, but trust me, Nick and I talk offline. I don't really like myself. Okay.
This Paz Vizsla shot, though, dude,
that's the one right there.
Yeah,
still only 500 fucking likes.
Dude, 500 is, but remember what you were complaining about before. You're like, man, like, I'm topping out at like 3, but then you got 2 500 plus like shots.
The Paz shot
3.
again is during a cheat session. It's during the toy share session, so there's extra boost there. The shots that some have surprised me are the ones I'm starting to share before 9 a.m. with no special hashtags.
Interesting. So like
I've actually gotten some of those to get close to 300, some over 400, and that's with none of this fucking toy pops nonsense.
Yeah.
But still, I'm telling you, dude, and I'm not going to call out names, but there are shots still with accounts that have 700 followers. It's an okay shot. Sometimes it's a fucking shot of a diorama setup. 600 likes, 700 likes, 800 likes. I'm just going, what the fuck?
But you're getting there.
The Paz shot, all these comments and this, and it's still, it caps out at organic shit with cheating at 500.
526, but then your Pyre 500, you got a Baby Yoda Mando 514, the Obi-Wan shot a little bit further down.
I know. I'm sounding like a fucking jerk off. I do
you're
this
getting
sometimes.
There. You're getting. I think what you need to look at in the trend is look at the number of likes over a series of shots. So like
I know. Well, I've kind of failed on this little speech. I wanted to approach it with some sort of positivity, but I can't do it, dude.
I know. You started off, you were like, things are turning around for Haywood.
And then I just started thinking like, no, I'm still getting fucked. I am still getting fucked. Not all my shots are good. I'll be the first one to admit that. The one I put out this morning with Ray and the Sith Trooper, I didn't really like it, but I was like, hey, fuck it. I spent the time to wipe the shit out and fuck. I'll just fucking share it. That one, I don't care how many likes it gets. It probably doesn't deserve it. The Paz shot, just on the reaction, it already got picked up by Star Wars The Black Series, featured on his 122,000 motherfucking account. Still, capped at 500. It's mind-boggling.
I don't know, man. You got to break through one threshold at a time. I will say.
Do you see this, people? This guy never lets me just be an angry fucking Sith. He's always trying to pull this Jedi fucking serenity shit on
I
me.
am. It's you gotta. There's light.
He's probably good
because
now I'm starting to fucking sweat. So all right, sorry. But the other thing, I am my profile's getting looked at more. The followers going up. I'm over 4,000. So I know I always sound like a fucking asshole, and I'm bitching and I'm whining, which I am. And I know all of you are too. Trust me. I know you motherfuckers are too. Some of you have talked to me in DMs that are dealing with the algo. It sucks because it makes you feel like a fucking loser. It does. It does.
That's what IG is here for, to make us hate ourselves.
It makes you feel great one moment and then like a pure fucking skillless loser the next. But I digress,
Right.
my friend. Present this week's top 5.
This week's top 5. I mean, this week, first off, the first shot up here by chill _art.
I love this one, man.
It's fantastic. So it's chill _4 RT. It could really be chill fart, but I'm going to say chill art. And we have like
cyberpunk Mandalorian.
I know, it's fucking great. So this is a traditional art piece. This is, digital art. It's stuff that me and Matt can't even really comprehend in our tiny brains.
We'll just refer to it as magical art.
Yes, this is magic. This is magic art made with people's hands, and
Yeah,
chill
like
art.
do the baby hands thing.
Yeah,
like
do the hand trick, baby. But this guy fucking took Mando, gave him like a really cool kind of recoloration. So instead of seeing these dark colors, browns and dark grays and stuff like that, he's got his Mando armor on, but you got shades of pinks and blues, and he's in this really cool kind of like Japanese alleyway that's all kind of psychedelic bright colors. It's hard to describe, but for those of you who are listening, please make sure to either look at the shot, whether you're watching on YouTube or, if you're listening on podcasts, like open up the top 5 link.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube right now, open your fucking eyes.
Yeah, look at it,
please.
Because I know what I do on YouTube sometimes when I'm at work is I just put something on in the background and have another tab open. Look at this image. It's fucking fantastic what chill art
I'll
has
start
done
doing look alerts. I'll just start going, look!
Look at this. So
Wake up!
But this shit is really
yeah, man.
fantastic.
Like I said, it's a very cyberpunk feel. Like this dude could be in Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever the fuck that game's gonna be.
Yep. Yeah.
Or I almost see it like a video game or a motion comic. It feels like he's walking down this alleyway,
You
right?
know what it feels like? The coloration feels very like 80s. Like
Oh, yeah.
when everything was like neon
Yeah,
and
fucking
bright.
Blade Runner, shit like that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's badass. This is one, and I don't think he has a huge following either.
Chill art? No, he's not. He's not a huge account. He's got 2,000 followers, and I mean, but this guy, again, like his thing is not necessarily Star Wars or anything like that.
It doesn't look like he's Star Wars much of anything. That's just kind of a random deal. It looks like he does a lot of stuff, either a lot of self or.
Yeah, like Grand Theft Auto seems to be a heavy focus for him. But I mean, he put out this Mando piece and it looks fucking really cool. So
yeah, it's wicked. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, so fucking great job here.
Chill _4 RT.
RT, yeah. All right, so next up we have another Mando shot. This is a toy photography shot from New Key Figures on Instagram at New Key Figures. And it's just a carnage shot, dude. This is like, it's super cool the way he's got it set up. So your primary focus here is Mando, and he's rocking the Darksaber.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, I mean,
back.
You got all this stuff going on here, but the thing that just captures your eye is that fucking Darksaber. I mean, that is a slick edit.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Nuki had to draw the whole damn thing and then do some either outer or inner glow effects there. And then maybe scratch the blade with a brush. Or he just fucking photoshopped it off another image of the blade. Either way, that's when I, as Nick does when he's picking the 5, I'm kind of the same. And I'll like every fucking shot you guys tag us in. Mark my words, at least until we explode and there's like thousands. Then probably not going to happen. But
probably, yeah.
for now, trust me, if you're tagging me or us and you're hashtagging Star Wars Time Show, my fat ass every day is going through and at least liking them all. But there's some shots, the ones that get featured on at Star Wars Time Show, are the ones where my eye just something gets pulled in, and that's what this one does. That Darksaber, it's hard to look away from it.
Yeah. I mean, and then once you kind of take in the Mando, the Mando himself, the pose, the way that he's got this fucking great kind of cape action going on. If you take the background in, the shot gets even better because you got Cara Dune in the background, you got IG-11 in the background, you got Paz Vizsla in the background, and it's just you got fucking Dengar dead on the ground. I mean, there's
Dengar's down, Bosk is down, you got a trooper.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice Bosk behind his leg, but yeah, Bosk, Dengar, you got a stormtrooper down here. I mean, this shot has a
Paz
fantastic
in the background, Cara's in the background, IG. So yeah, I mean, it's a good shot. New Key's busy. I mean, this dude, I think it's a dude,
John Emerson.
John.
Yes. I
mean, he drops. There's sometimes he'll get on a clip and it feels like he drops 5 fucking shots a day.
Yeah, I mean, and just of this setup, like using these characters, he dropped 3 separate shots, and I mean, all of them are just top-notch work.
Yeah,
so
the algo's definitely in his favor. This one on him, he got 759, 659.
Yeah, 650, 750. I mean, the guy puts out quality work. So at New Key Figures, all one word on Instagram. Absolutely fantastic shot here. Moving on to the next entry.
Is that his first top 5 feature? Because I know I featured his ass a ton.
Yeah, this is
just
New Key's
on IG.
Yeah, so New Key, this is his first time on the top 5, and it was also Chill Art's first time on the top 5. So both new entries.
Check that shit out.
And then, you know,
here he is.
You got some new, you got some old. We're moving on to the next entry in the top 5, and it is one of our goats. It is one of our favorite people out here on IG Land and toy photography community. It's none other than Sir Dork 730 himself, making his
everyone's favorite arson.
Yeah, his 2020 debut onto the top 5, and I mean, like you said, you know, everyone's favorite arson. That's his specialty, and this specialty is done with Jango Fett having fire coming off of every part of his body. I mean,
you know, I'm not gonna lie. In every Sir Dork shot, I envision Jared as the figure.
Did you just think like underneath the mask, it's just Jared?
Yeah, like that's Jared right now, fucking jumping up, doing that pose, like ga 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 ga, with all that fucking shit blown up around him.
That's the next iteration of his career, is that it's going to be fucking
he
cosplay.
Starts lighting himself on fire.
Yeah, it's going to be like cosplay photography, and he is the main feature.
Cosplay photography in the style of toy photography. By Sir Dork 730.
I mean, but this shot, I mean, I love it because this looks like fucking a pose that Jango pulled off in the prequels. I mean, it's really cool, and as with Sir Dork, you get incredible
explosions are fucking out of control.
It is, dude.
I checked this one out because I watched some of his videos. They're fun, especially if you want to learn how to do this stuff from other people that aren't. I mean, you know, we talked about this when I had him on. We interviewed. I mean, he doesn't really know the ins and outs of photography from his ass or a hole in the ground, you know what I mean? But he just through practicing and experimentation, he's figured some crazy shit out. But he's starting to layer stuff, so I mean, these are actually multiple shots in one here.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so there's various explosions from crackling balls, maybe some sparklers are in there. It just layers them all up and kind of erases parts of certain layers to reveal others, and things that I'm starting to work on myself. So, but yeah, this is a fun shot, and it was actually he kind of did a team up with this dude Visual Force. So I think we've had
Visual
on the top
Force
5.
We've definitely had in the top 5 before.
Yeah,
as well.
So Visual Force, he also did a Jango blown up shot, and it's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, it is.
Visual Force, he's in with the Algo. There's no doubt about it. Same with Sir Dork.
Yeah, the Algo shines brightly on these fellas.
Yeah,
but
Algo boys right there.
I mean, They just have quality shots here, and with Sir Dork, every shot is a quality shot. So,
oh, don't worry, he's another one. Sometimes I don't like to reveal my secrets, but I keep a folder on my phone of screenshots of shots that I want to share. I'll just be adding to it throughout the week. There's another thing I'm telling Nick. I was like, dude, I'd sometimes throughout the week, I'd be running out of my little folder. Yeah. Now it's getting to the point where every day it's 50 or more. I can't get it below 50 to share. So I have like 50 old shots waiting to be shared. But back to the point here. There are guys like Papa, Remember to Clone, Sir Dork, Everything Kylo, Frangle Art at this point. Super Scoundrel. I mean,
Super Scoundrel had a really good one that you shared this week.
Dude, all these like event, people we've talked about Black Sea. I could share every fucking shot they put out, and there are some times where it's like, well, Jared, I may have to delete one of your old ones because now you just fucking slap me in the face with another great new one. So,
yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep up. Like like I say,
sometimes I run a LIFO system, last in, first out type of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I say it every week. I put it in the posts. Make sure that you're following us. Yes, follow these photographers because, like Matt's saying, like we can only feature so many shots. Like so many shots can get on our feed. Only 5 get into the top 5. But if you go follow these guys, you follow Sir Dork, you follow Chill Art, you follow New Key Figures, like you see all of their stuff. You can go to their page and you can see them all the time. So
yeah, we're just giving you samples. I mean, these guys are recurring because of what they do, but that should just give you even more reason to go check them out and fucking follow them. If you're into this shit, if you're into just Star Wars, fuck, you don't even have to be into the toys or art, or I mean, it's just fucking rad shit. The stuff people do with their Star Wars fandom is fantastic for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, look,
there's a lot of awful shit being done with the fandom too.
That's true. But look, even if you're not a Star Wars fan, Sir Dork is starting to expand his horizons into the Sailor Moon space. Thanks to his.
I know Chaos Cuties, his homegirl. She does a lot of Sailor Moon stuff. Yeah, her muse is C-3PO.
That's hers.
I featured a few of her 3PO shots. She does some magic with 3PO.
He is.
Do you see the one? Like, there's one you may have to go check her account where she's got him like skipping through the water. He just looks so happy and gay. I love it.
Oh yeah, I see it.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
It's just like it's perfect goldenrod right there.
Yeah, it is. Oh man, that's great. He's got his red arm from TFA.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
But anyways, man, Sir Dork Jared, he's our buddy.
Yeah, he is. We love the guy.
There are times where I definitely have to ignore some of his shots to be featured just because people would accuse me of being a fanboy,
a homer, a shill, a Sir Dork shill.
We're definitely a Sir Dork shill, Everything Kylo shill.
Yeah, I mean, all of these guys, we will shill for these guys any day of the week. But all right, next up.
I told Everything Kylo he took a break and he put a new post up today, right?
Yeah,
fantastic. It's gonna be featured. Don't worry, it's in the folder. But I'm scrolling through, and he did a little BTS, and he has a hat on backwards, and it's not the Star Wars time hat.
Whoa.
Jesse.
Man.
Son of a bitch.
That's a limited edition. That's
first run shit, man. Yeah, come on. Yeah. That's a prime time to have that thing on backwards with StarWarsTime.net right there.
It's right on your forehead.
Everyone's going to be like, oh, shit. Jesse's wearing that Star Wars time shit. Fuck.
We've literally had people ask us if we sell those. Like, we were at Celebration. When we were at Celebration 2020, Matt's walking around with the hat on. Guy walks up to him. Is like, hey, where'd you buy that?
Yeah, he's like, oh, man, where'd you get that? I've been seeing those. Like, well, no, you haven't, but thanks.
There is one that you've seen, and it is the official one.
No, dude, I know. I like some of my good friends, like my Howard Stern buddy and some of the dudes I've made friends with in E3 that worked for Sony. I gave them Buddha hats, kind of the same style. They love them. I was like, hey, Buddha might be dying out, or it kind of is dead. But Star Wars time's around. We did some hats. I showed it to him. They're like, oh, shit, man. can we buy some of those? Like, I feel weird when people ask me that.
Yeah, when people are like, oh, can we buy? I mean, like if we get to a point where like there's enough people asking, there's an actual demand for it.
Oh, dude, I think there is at this point where I don't know why I'm this way. I don't feel like we're big enough to ask people for money.
I completely agree with that. Now,
yet, Nick, the world we live in, people do it all the fucking time.
Yeah, people with like
go
7
fund me
followers
and Patreons.
Patreon.
Yeah. I mean, there's this one podcast that I think I followed back just for fun, but I've unfollowed them for now. But I mean, they had like 10 fucking followers, and they were locking their shows already with Patreon. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, it's like, dude,
just like
that is one thing that I don't ever want to do is like, content, like gate our content behind paywalls.
Bro, I've been creating content for 10 years. I've literally produced over 10,000 articles, be it reviews, previews, full-on breakdowns, how-tos, news. It doesn't matter. I've never asked for a goddamn dime outside of some annoying fucking ads on a website.
Yeah, like people who come to StarWarsTime.net, you'll just see.
I do, because I love it. I love the shit. Yeah, I'd love to make fucking money. I'd love to be more popular than we are. But to me, really to me, and this is it's a sickness. I have a hole in my soul that needs filled with the notion that people enjoy what I say about Star Wars and think that I'm important enough to dedicate their time to. They like what I say. They repeat what I say. This, that, and the other. Like I'm that type of person. I'm fucking shallow.
Yeah.
I need to feel special.
I definitely neither Matt nor I went into this Star Wars Time venture, whether it's when we started it on EB in 2015 or when we started Star Wars Time proper in 2018 at the end of 2018. Like none of it was like, oh, we're gonna make money off of this. Like it was definitely not for that. So we're just fucking passionate Star Wars fans.
We like talking about it, but at least I'm speaking for myself. I want to be known as a Star Wars resource, plain and fucking simple.
Absolutely.
Laying it out there. I'm not hiding anything.
And look, MSW, what this guy has accomplished and with the sources that he has, I mean, we can only hope to have the type of following that he has at one point
It's a whole different thing that he does, though. I mean, he's a fucking leaker. And that is what it is. I consider what we do more to be content creation.
Yeah, content creation, entertainment in a way, some sort of entertainment.
I mean, who knows how entertaining this shit really is. I mean, we're already going for 2 hours because it's just been tangent central. I kind of predicted our doom at the beginning.
You did.
But I don't know, man. I mean, long story short,
I will say this: if we get to 5,000 followers, or when we get to 5,000 followers, I don't know when that'll be. I don't even know if it'll be this year. We have 3,000 right now.
I don't even know if we can do that because we still can't use links at 5,000 followers, which is IG saying still you're not good enough.
Yeah,
their mark is 10K.
There. At 5K, we'll figure out a way to do a limited run of hats, and we'll throw them up for sale. As weird as that.
The other problem with the hat shit is
sizing is weird.
It's not in the sizing because I think the stretch ones we got. I mean, the two essentially cover SM or L to XL.
Yeah, so it's small, medium.
Here's the kicker. You can't just go to one of these jerk off online, t-shirt, hat, and knick-knack maker sites and get the quality that I want to put forward for Star Wars Time.
Yeah, like we will likely the quality of hats that we have now are really good. They're really solid.
I think we spent $200 for what 10 fucking hats.
Yeah, something like that. So
it's legit shit, and that's what it would be. That's another reason, at least I don't want to do it. I don't want to become a fucking UPS store.
Yeah, exactly. Because we'd have
to buy them, and then fucking one of our dumbasses would have to ship them to people.
Yeah. So if
we laziness too, motherfuckers. All right.
If we get there, if we get to 5K, I'll
be like our man Greg and just fucking make one.
Greg did that himself, which is impressive.
Fuck yeah, man.
There's
Greg, He's resourceful like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy's essentially built himself Tatooine in dioramas.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like he's got his own custom Baby Yoda figure. He's got his own custom Gecko figure.
Yeah,
Dominic
man. He had
Pace,
the Dominic
like,
Pace bounty hunter.
Yeah. So, all right,
right.
that was a hard tangent there, but
Holy
I put it out
shit,
there.
I am
5K
bad
followers.
tonight. I'm sorry, Nick. Hopefully you didn't have anything to do because it's already damn near 10 o'clock my time.
It's getting close. But this next up on the top 5, we have, I believe this is a brand new entry in the top 5, a new artist. This is Vin Faith Customs, Vin Faith _customs, with a nice, crispy Han Solo shot.
That was a perfect way to describe that shot, Nick. You are learning.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a clean and crispy toy photography shot to a T.
So this figure, is this like an official? Is this like a figure art?
Yeah. So I have this, and it does look this good. This is the newly released SH Figure Arts Han Solo from TFA. The face sculpt is uncanny. I dropped a portrait shot I think last week. Not as good as this. I mean, Vin Face Dio here, like he has a fucking innards of the Falcon Dio that's just to die for.
Spot on, dude. It's perfect. Yeah.
But the figure, man, like look at the face sculpt.
Yeah. I mean, that it's like literally looking at Harrison Ford. It's not even like you're looking at a toy at all. This is actually Harrison Ford. And then just the pose that he has him in, like it's nothing that's like action oriented or anything like that. It's an awesome pensive pose. Like Han's looking at his hand.
But you can feel what he's thinking. You can feel exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah, and it's lovely, dude. It's a lovely shot. I mean, so what Vin Faith Custom has done here is absolutely fantastic. I like the quote he has too. The original caption says, "Kira, I think of you every day. What have you became? What are you? Are you even alive?" And maybe that would have been answered in further Solo movies, but
because he's holding the dice, which clearly ties all the way back to his time with her. So they have to do something with these guys on Disney Plus at this point. I mean, come on, they were under contract. There's probably some stories written that you could modify for smaller episodes. Let's do it.
Yeah, 100%. So Vin Faith at Vin Faith _custom, VINFAITH _custom on Instagram. The last entry into the top 5, I mean, Plastic Action is just a killer, and like Plastic Action has always been a killer his entire life.
He's ridiculous.
Like this shot that he put together of we have it's a Rey Palpatine shot. And by that, I don't mean Rey Palpatine, her name. I mean Rey Palpatine. And then in the background, we have a nice, awesome Force Ghost Luke here. And it's on Exegol. You can see the Sith throne in the background. And the shot, depicts Rey with her lightsaber and Force lightning coming out of her fingers. And basically, the Emperor is right next to her, almost doing like his yes.
Yeah, I mean, Jax's caption was, "Which Rey do you want to run with, dark side or light side?" So it's pretty much her two sides. She's got the Sith lightning in one and her Jedi weapon in the other.
Yeah, dude, it's a beautiful fucking shot.
With the two masters of each side kind of flanking her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this shot other than it's just it's so cool. Like the way that he has the lightning, like the lightning itself looks amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, look how he has that reflect on her face. Just the level of detail he puts in the crafting, the atmosphere, and just the finer points of lighting. Like look at the nice little yellow shadow on the ground from her lightsaber and on her fingertips. You look at this and they truly don't look like toys anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, this looks like it could have literally been a shot from Tross. I mean, it's fucking incredible.
It's just all of his shots. They just have this. It's almost like I'm gonna call it the plastic action filter. Because it's almost like he just wipes it down, just makes it even more awesome. I don't know if it's soft proofing or what, but all of his shots have this kind of finished look to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the plastic action filter. Like he just magically swipes it and they look like that.
It's like, boom, he's got it pre-made in his Photoshop or whatever, image editing software he uses. But this guy, yeah, he is a huge account, 66,000 followers, and this dude's been on everything that you could possibly be on. EW, Yahoo, Gizmodo, Complex, Nerdist, ESPN, Marvel. Like, the guy is just he's a killer. So I love all of his stuff. He's another account where we could literally just feature everything that he puts out. But this one was so good. That lightsaber, is that hilt? Is that a custom hilt, or do you know where he would have gotten something like that?
I've been seeing a lot of people doing Rey with the yellow saber, and I'm assuming they're just cannibalizing one of their multiple Rey bow staffs.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The most recent Black Series figure, I don't think I ever said this just to not spoil anything for you, but it came to where you can pop the ends off and jam one of the lightsaber plastic pieces into it.
Really? Wow.
So almost like it was supposed to be a bow staff saber, to be honest with you, because that's how it comes with the toy.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they're just cutting off one end, and here we go.
Nice. Okay. Very interesting. So, well, that brings us to the end of the top 5. All of these artists, make sure to give them a follow on Instagram. Their accounts are linked right under the images on the post if you're following along there. And if you're not following along there, we said all their names. So make sure to type it in the IG and give us a follow as well. Like we mentioned, at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram, we're over 3,000 follows, which is amazing for 1 year.
We're over 3,000. Was
not
that
quite 9,000 yet. Yeah, not quite 9,000 yet, but we're 1/3 of the way there. So yes, thank you guys so much for all of the amazing art, and make sure to give these guys a follow.
I'm actually, as we're trying to wrap this thing up, I'm trying to get my share out on the Toy Pops.
There you go.
Because it goes at 10 p.m.
Matt's
so I'm
working.
literally up against the clock. So I am live sharing my shot right now, people. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll do kind of a new theme here. As we close this out, since this has never happened. But I'm doing a live shot. I'm sharing another Paz shot. So it's a follow-up to last night's Toy Pops Paz shot. This one also using practical effects, utilizing the Sir Dork flamethrower technique to give a flamethrower look to Paz's flamethrower. So
patented Sir Dork method.
Literally got my lighter, the blowtorch lighter, not his fucking blowtorch, like a real blowtorch. I got a normal blowtorch you can buy at a store. Lit that, got my atmosphere aerosol, and just went fucking melted Paz's tip of his shit and everything.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Then I just kind of took some layers and got it together. So I'm going to try to drop this here right now. Nick, give me a second. Go ahead and, I don't know, maybe talk about the weather.
Talk about the weather. Talk about StarWarsTime.net, where we have articles that we put out every day for you guys to read through, to comment on, to make us seem like a bunch of idiots who don't know anything about Star Wars. But
there's just so much shit
that you
have to do to post to this toy session, dude. It's such a pain in the ass. This is kind of fun doing this. I like this Star Wars Time Show. See, I do tag us, even though I'm not allowed to be featured.
Yeah, Matt will never be featured, but that is
Nick
because
hates my fucking work more than
we can't be self-promoting assholes here on the Star Wars Time Show. That is the last thing that we want to become. Is
I've already missed the window, by the way. It's now 10:01, and I'm still furiously tapping hashtags here.
You don't have these hashtags like copy and pasted?
I have a lot of them, but
you got to do
not some of the more precision ones.
Gotcha. But you know what takes little to no effort? Going to StarWarsTime.net, clicking that subscribe to podcast link, and then choosing the podcast channel of your liking. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Android, Stitcher, Deezer, email, RSS feed. We cover all of our bases here on the Star Wars Time Show.
Look at Nick's doing the dance for me. I like this.
See,
I like
Matt's,
it, man.
He's a little busy, so I can.
Yeah,
do
I mean,
some
this is.
promotion
I
and
think they'll
plugs.
appreciate this though, because there's other assholes that have to do this stuff too. So I know, especially because it's budding right off at the end of the Instagram feature here. So I know there's some people sitting here going, I know this fucking routine and how bad it fucking sucks. Right now, my friends, I'm going through tagging as many of you as I can to annoy you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. There's Swit Picks. We'll get him. There's Super Scoundrel. Nose Rain. Yeah, how about I'll do Dagobah Customs.
He's been on here.
Hey, Bud Futu.
He's also been on the top 5.
Rebel Jawa.
I think Rebel.
All right,
Jawa
I've
was
ran
on.
out of names. So there's some other names, Nick. Give me some names.
I'll
do Plastic Action. There you go,
Add
Jax.
Plastic
Got
Action.
you right there.
That guy's good. Add Black Series. You can.
I'm gonna do Chill for Art.
Chill for Art. There you go.
basically everyone that was on the show tonight.
In the top 5. New Key Figures.
Yeah, I'll get New
Custom.
Key. There you go, New Key. There's a tag for you.
There we go. This is live, people. This is what happens when you have such
I got
a passion.
more tags. I'm gonna tag at that Nick C.
That's me. That will be
There we go. Watch
coming
this.
through my Instagram
Boom!
feed.
Got him. At that Nick C. I'm gonna get Captain Ordo up in there.
Captain Ordo has been a top 5 recipient as well.
Eye of Uatao. Oh, Eye of Uatao. Speaking of Eye of
yes.
Uatao, aka Tom. Dude, we love you, man. That's all I want to say. If you're on IG and you follow Eye of Uatao, you know how good of a dude Tom is. And he said some very kind words about Nick and I in his stories, I believe today, because we featured his mall, which I've more or less commanded Nick at this point to put in the next week's top 5.
It does not happen often. In fact, I think it's only ever happened one other time where Matt's like kind of hints that there's a shot in there that he has an affinity for. This time he was basically like, this shot makes the top 5, and I can't argue. Like, I looked at this shot, I'm like, you goddamn right it does. Like, this is,
and it's not even because of what Tom said, but he basically said that he loves us and thinks we're great. And
I mean,
go read what he said, and you all do the same. Okay?
Yeah, it means.
And like
a lot.
Nick said, get out to StarWarsTime.net and do all that shit, because in the end, there's always time for Star Wars time, right? And remember, if you listen to the Star Wars Time show, the Force will be with you always.